Monday, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to NFC Now. I'm Julian Virgin, joined here by NFC's CEO and I don't even want to say promoter, small business owner, the one and only David Oblast. I call him Obleasy when we're not on camera, man. But yeah, welcome to NFC Now. This is show number 9. We have an incredible show planned for you all today. We got guests, Tresean, Mr. Vicious Gore. We got everybody's favorite trainer from what I'm hearing, Brantley Furr, Dhiego Lima, ATT Lima owner, and DJ Ogletree and Larry Greene to review UFC 281 that just happened this past weekend. We haven't had a NFC show since Jesse Wable's amateur series a couple weeks ago. So we can call this like our off season. I don't even want to say off season because we're always going to be on here every Monday at 7 p.m. here live. David, what's up, man?
Do I got to keep carrying the show and fixing your errors? It's every Monday night. I've been carrying the show for 5 weeks.
You're behind the scenes. Every now and then I'm gonna make mistakes, man. It is what it is. I'm gonna finish strong at the end of the round, though.
It is what it is. We know you're the journalism major, the better student, the best talker. So I'm plan B on this show.
It's all good, man. It's good to see you. What's going on, man? How does things look like would you consider this the off season as well?
I guess it's off season for a couple weeks, but I mean, like I said before, we're still planning on the awards banquet in potentially January, February. You got to figure out the venue and the timeline for that. Working on January 7th, Dothan, Alabama. Working on January 20th at Monday Night Brewing on the west side, and met today with a new venue, hoping to get that potentially announced in the next couple of weeks. So, and just doing a lot of house cleaning that I had to do the last couple of weeks or months I've been putting off. I'll even show it here. I've got a stack of QuickBooks checks I got to enter and tons of other crap like that. So this is kind of the month to get caught up. And I found people don't like fighting in December. The fans don't like it. So give everyone a month off.
How frequently, how long did it take you to figure that out? That wasn't the move.
So I guess it was years ago, not only before your time, but I guess it was almost before a lot of people's times that's involved in the fight community right now. But when we used to do Wild Bills, we did a Toys for Tots fight at Wild Bills. And it was one of the coolest things ever because you could bring a new unwrapped toy for Toys for Tots, and you'd get in completely free to the fights at Wild Bills that night. And it was a pretty cool deal that we split alcohol, we split food, we split sponsorships. That way I didn't lose money as the promoter. They didn't lose money as the venue, but we all made almost nothing on that. The athletic commission asked all the referees and judges to work for free. We asked a lot of other people to work for free since there's no tickets being sold. But then, and the super cool thing is you had to bring one toy to get in free. When I was outside, there were people bringing bags of toys, not just one toy. Like people in the fight community were bringing bags of toys. I'll even mention them. Ashley and Nick Sprayberry would come in 4 garbage bags full of toys. And then they worked the t-shirt booth over there, not even the front door. That was when they were working the t-shirt booth. All the fighters would bring toys. The gyms would collect boxes of toys, and they'd bring in the weigh-ins. But when Wild Bills went under and it was sold, I tried to do it once at another venue, and it just didn't work out. So we've stopped doing Toys for Tots in December. That's what made me have to stop doing a December fight. And Ashley Sprayberry asked me at District a couple weeks ago or Tanner Rowe, if we can at least go and volunteer at the Toys for Tots warehouse this year. Like us post it online, us get a lot of people. And what we do is we just pick a Saturday or Sunday, and we just get as many people from the fight community go there and work in the warehouse. So we might pick a Saturday, Sunday in November, December to do that.
I actually think that's a great idea, man. And just on a PR standpoint, I think that would be a great look for the promotion as well.
Yeah, and it gets a lot of us together. Like I'm sure you and Jen Lee would come out. Charlene brought her kids, and it's been years now. Her kids are older. Ashley and Nick brought their kids, and it was just cool that a lot of fighters that might end up fighting each other in the next 6 months or did fight each other in the last 6 months are there sorting toys. And you put the bikes over here, you put the little 4-wheelers over here, and it was cool seeing how it gets done. And we just went there for a 6-hour shift, an 8-hour shift, and we were all absolutely exhausted by the end of that. So it's just cool working with the Marines and seeing what they do for Toys for Tots.
You mentioned Wild Bills, and it's crazy because this past weekend I was at the bar watching UFC 281, and while I'm there, I talk to everybody that I see, and while I'm just talking to fight fans in between the fights, I'm like, hey, are y'all familiar with the local mixed martial arts scene? And I'll tell them about the NFC. And one set of guys I was talking to, they were like, oh yeah, they used to do the fights at Wild Bills, and I was like, yeah. So I feel like that's a good way to, when I'm not actually inside the cage, I am also promoting for the promotion, the NFC page.
Even like we did lunch last week, I told people, I think I told you and Jenna Lee and Michael Kelly at lunch last week, just because I'm labeled a fight promoter, you think that's supposed to be like someone loud and outgoing. I'm really not that loud. I'm not that outgoing. I don't like a lot of people. But I said if I was 1/10 as outgoing as you are, the NFC would probably be known by a lot more people. But it is weird how people always talk about the fights at Wild Bill's. Like we used to have over 3,000 people there. And it was just a whole different dynamic. Like everyone in the Southeast, that's when people started respecting NFC as the number one show in the Southeast. And, Wild Bill's is fortunately not there anymore. And I tried to do the 20th anniversary show at Wild Bill's and it didn't work out. That was the big thing I was looking to do, but sometimes it doesn't happen.
Earlier, you just kind of, again, you always break news here on the NFC pod, NFC Now. We do this every Monday at 7 p.m. But you just mentioned that, you're working on a different partnership with a new venue. Now, when you are going into a venue, what kind of things are you looking for from them, and what things are the venue looking from you?
I think what they're looking for is simpler. They're looking for alcohol sales. That's kind of the number one thing they're looking for: alcohol sales, food sales, and can it help market that venue? Will it take that venue to a new place? Lots of venues can show the UFC fights. They can have bands. They can do this and that. But every venue I go to tells me several things. And one of them is your fights are the highest selling alcohol thing we do. If you think about it, if we have 15 fights in one night, that's 14 breaks to go get a beer. They also tell me the number of security and police we bring and everything else makes it a second to none safest environment. You guys have been around for over 2 years now. We've almost maybe had one fight in 2 years, and that's really it in the crowd. So it's extremely safe environment for fight fans, fighters outside of the cage. But what I'm looking is for a safe environment. And I think I've told this to them. Charlene, formerly Erin Barnett, who's not with us at the fights now, and Tiffany Wable, kind of the three ladies of the NFC. I was looking if the venue and the area is safe enough that I feel comfortable with those three girls driving home after the fights are over. And now it's, other females involved, but that's kind of the number one safety thing I look for. And what can it do for the NFC, and how often do they want fights there, and what will it do to the other venues? Because the other venues, District, Tannery Row, and Monday Night Brewing, they want us as many times as we can get there. So I try to make sure we make those venues happy and put on the fights that they want to have. Because it brings them something different as well.
I'm curious what the NFC community thinks about maybe a possible new venue. Y'all drop some comments in our comment section. Let us know where you would like to see NFC fights take place. And with that being said, let us know what kind of NFC fights that you would like to see. Like if you're just making a dream matchup, what kind of matchups would you like to see moving forward? I know last week on the pod we had Nathan Rivera. He talked about some possible matchups. Well, I don't know if he necessarily talked about matchups. We talked about some things at 155. But yeah, if y'all have any feedback, any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to drop it down in our comment section. We have a jam-packed show planned for everybody today. Starting off with our guy Tresean Gore, UFC veteran, NFC veteran as well. We're going to have Brantley Furr on, coach from ATT Lima. We'll also have the owner and coach from ATT Lima, Dhiego Lima, on the show, as well as DJ Ogletree and Larry Greene as we recap what happened at UFC 281. Before we go ahead and bring everybody else on, what were your thoughts about the fight, Dave?
The UFC?
Yes, sir.
That's why I thought we should discuss it tonight and get guys that watched it and hopefully watch it somewhat sober. I thought it was one of the best UFC cards in a long time. It was hyped as one of the best ones, and I think it definitely lived up, which some of them don't. I think it lived up to the main event. I think it lived up to, obviously, the Dustin Poirier fight versus Michael Chandler. The co-main event, the Carla Esparza. I personally hate her. I think she's boring. I'm glad she lost. Hopefully she retires. And then the Frankie Edgar fight was good. I thought it was one of the best cards we've had for the UFC in a long time.
So you just dogged on my girl Carla, and a lot of people that I was at the bar with was dogging on Carla as well. Yeah. Yes, she doesn't have the most entertaining style, but I do have to put respect on her skills for her to even be in that, for her to even hold the belt, one. Two, for her to have you say what you want about the Rose fight. She won the fight. She was more aggressive in that fight. And she really ran through the rest of the division in order to get to that point. I thought that fight, although I know everybody was still on a high from that Poirier-Chandler fight and was really waiting on that Pierre-Adesanya fight, I thought that fight really delivered. I thought that was a good scrap. I believe it ended in round number 1, but I thought it was a good scrap for what it was.
Yeah, ended around 2. I'm looking online. I'm cheating right now, so I can correct you. Ended around 2, but I mean, yeah, she's skilled. She's a great wrestler, good at jiu-jitsu. She was the world champ. I mean, I give her credit for doing those things. I just don't like watching her fight. I think she's a boring fighter. I don't think that should have been the co-main event. I think the Michael Chandler versus Dustin fight should have been the co-main event. But they sometimes make title fights the main event and co-main event. So look, UFC doesn't tell me what to do, and I'm absolutely not going to tell them what to do.
Talking about that Poirier-Chandler fight, man, did you have a dog in that one?
I've liked Michael Chandler for a long time. I mean, he used to fight for Bellator, and the weird thing is he fought 90% of his career in Bellator. We would never be talking about him in Bellator right now, and I personally think that's the Bellator-UFC difference. Once he came to UFC, he exploded. Everyone would recognize him on the street corner right now. And it almost nullifies and voids everything it did in Bellator because you and I would have never watched it. I have never been to a Bellator fight party in my life. And hopefully Douglas Lima is not watching this and doesn't break my leg. But that's the difference in marketing between Bellator and UFC. And I tell this to local fighters all the time. It's not only the promotion, it's the venue. When you're looking at fights, make sure you're fighting in a good venue that's going to keep your fan base coming around. And I say that time and time. I've seen fights in churches. I've seen them in bowling alleys. I've seen them in rec centers. If you see a venue and there's a basketball court and they got to bend the basketball goals up, that's not a very good venue that's going to entertain your fans coming back. So I love Michael Chandler. I just wish he went to UFC earlier so more people would have been talking about him because he is absolutely unbelievable.
He's a great fight to watch, man. But I feel like people give him, I don't want to say too much credit. I just think that, like, he's a great fighter. He's just obviously not going to be the champ. And that's where multiple fighters fall. Like, a lot of fighters are going to fall into that category. Like, if you're in the NBA, not everybody's going to be a Hall of Fame or an All-Star. You're going to have more people that are just average NBA players. And for you to even be an average NBA player, you're still better than everybody else. I just think that, we gave him a lot of credit for the Justin Gaethje fight. But let's be honest. He got beat up in the Justin Gaethje fight. He got beat up pretty bad.
Yeah.
And, He beats a Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson's obviously on the way down. At this household in which I'm in right now, we love us some Dustin Poirier. We love us the Diamond. He's fought everybody and anybody. He's never backed down. He's been in so many more wars than Michael Chandler. And I feel like what he was saying before the fight, like, to even get Chandler to call him out was, Chandler really hasn't earned him stripes just yet. And, we saw. And that was an amazing fight. And let me tell you this. My favorite thing to do when I watch a UFC fight, if I don't order it at home, I love going to the bar. I absolutely love going to the bar because when I'm at the bar, I could really be myself. Like, when I say myself, I mean just loud and braggadocious and like I'm that one guy at the bar that's making everybody else at the bar like turn around and look. But like I'm the one that's like getting it excited. I'm quoting Bruce Buffer as he's yelling. I'm yelling at the top of my lungs. I'm clapping. And so that fight was amazing. I was talking a lot of smack. But when it got to the main event, that's when it really all went down because I'm rooting for Adesanya. I'm a big Adesanya fan. There's a lot of Pereira fans in there. But I'm yelling the whole time. I'm counting, all right, it's 1-0, 1-1, 3-1. And I'm dancing and I'm doing all these type of dances. But when Adesanya got knocked out, the whole bar turned on me. Like I was public enemy number one, but I had to eat that because I was the one that was giving it most of the time,
I think as you've been talking, the one thing I just wrote down is make Julian business cards. So I'm going to make business cards with you. This says NFC announcer on there. On the backside would be like the photo that I saw of Tannery Row of you bending down, yelling in the microphone right there, your Bruce Buffer interpretation. So that'll be on the back and then maybe like a 20% off coupon that people. So that way when you are the loudest guy at Hooters next time, at least it's NFC marketing. So would you hand those out?
We could possibly make that work. If you're gonna do it, you got to make sure they're real nice business cards. Because my business cards, they have a good not thread count, but they feel good. Some business cards they're a little light in the behind. But if you're gonna do it, you got to give me a nice one, man. Again, ladies and gentlemen,
mail me one of yours so I can see what I'm working with before I go down there. Yeah,
we can definitely.
Did you get the flyers I mailed you yet from the post office?
I have not gone to the post office. Excuse me. I'm sorry. But I got all my NFC stuff right here. Check me out. Come on, man. We prepared. We good.
I got the dollar store notebook pad.
I got my
Julian
dollar store
business
notebook pad
cards
here too. Listen, people, we are prepared for our show every Monday. Each and every Monday, this is NFC Now, show number 9. We've been keeping it consistent. Shout out to you, Dave, man, for just making sure that this platform is running smooth. Again, this is NFC Now, show number 9. If y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, y'all make sure you drop it in there. Do you see anything just yet?
I see Tresean. I don't see his face. I saw a minute ago. Maybe he muted his face there. If you hear us, Tresean, kind of come back online there so we see you're ready to go. Because we've got Tresean at 7:15 and Brantley Furr behind him at 7:30. And if you've never talked to Tresean would talk your head off for 3 hours. So we're only got 20 minutes. There he is. There's Tresean. Let's see if we can add him in. Let's change this layout a little bit here for him.
That's messed up, man.
You like to talk. I know you like to talk. That's a good quality, right? There you go. Can you see yourself now in there?
Yeah. Can y'all see me?
I can't.
Can you hear him, Julian? I can see him on the right side. You don't see him, Julian?
I got him. What's up, Tresean?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Maintaining, man. Thank you for joining us. I'm trying to get this, Dave. How many beers have you had up off the screen before I?
Let me hide that. I just tapped that out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome a UFC fighter, an NFC veteran, and a hell of a man on the NFC Now. This is Tresean, Mr. Vicious Gore. Thank you for joining us this evening, man. How you living?
Pretty good, man. How y'all doing?
Maintaining, man. Where you coming us? Where you at right now?
I'm just I'm in my baby boy's room right now, man. Just chilling with my family. About to eat some steak.
How old is baby boy?
20 months. About to be 2 years.
And what's his name?
He's a junior.
How's that feel?
Man, it feels like I need to take the world over, man. I want to take the world over. Gotta step my shit up. I'm stepping my shit up. I'm about to train harder. I'm about to be more smarter, be more strategic.
I just saw you caught some fish yesterday. I figured I always see your fishing photos. I figured you eat fish 7 nights a week. You're actually eating steak tonight?
Yeah, I eat a lot of fish, but I'm eating steak and lobster tonight. Thank God. And man, that's what I do when I'm not fighting. I'm fishing and eating Bojangles. And
that's what you get for the performance of the night. Perform of the night, get steak and lobster, right?
Yes, sir. I just been enjoying my family, man, and being thankful that I'm able to be where I'm at today.
How much has your life changed? Not only the last year since you've been with the UFC, but you made quite a mark in the last couple weeks. Not only with your pre-fight speech that was very emotional, but with the unbelievable submission as well. Like, what has your life been with the last 2 weeks since that happened?
Man, this has been pretty cool. I'm not letting attention change me. I'm just being me. I'm being genuine, and people respect it. I was being genuine in the interview, and I like to be genuine when I fight. Everything I try to do is I don't try to put on any fake facades. I didn't do that when I fought for y'all. When I was about to fight LJ or anybody, I'm very competitive and I like to win. And sometimes it comes off as cocky, but fuck it, forget who don't like me. I'm gonna just keep being me, and seems like people respect it, me being me. Maybe not as much tears next time, but I mean, just when you fight, I'm the type of fighter I carry my heart on my sleeve. I got my family. I'm fighting for it, so that's important to me.
You said that you got to step your stuff up, man. Obviously, man, you stepped it up by getting your first ever UFC win. I was listening to one of your coaches, Saif Sehoud, talked to Ariel Helwani a couple of days ago, man. He talked about how you came to him, man, and asked him to train you for this upcoming fight, man. And he talked about just the importance of getting your first win. Could you elaborate on, what that first UFC win meant to you?
It felt good, man. Other than the 2 wins off the show, it felt really good. It felt validated me. And, man, it was just wild as hell watching people like Andre Arlovski go fight before me. I'm like, what the hell? And then freaking what's his freaking name? Khalil Roundtree, he's warming up. He's going to go fight before me. And I'm sitting up here like, damn, like I'm only been here a year or so, and then after I win, freaking Dana brings me to the back, and gives me a big hug, and just embraces me with love, man. Him and Sean Shelby, and it was very cool because he doesn't really invite people to the back like that. But I remember I just walked past this foreign car, and I was like, "What the hell? Like they about to give me a car for the win?" And I was gonna be happy for that. But then I walked past that room, and Dana and Sean Shelby were sitting on the couch. Dana got up, gave me a hug, and that was that.
Huge performance, huge victory. That first round was a little back and forth. That second round is when you went viral, man. Could you just talk us through that fight? I know you spoke a little afterwards to, I believe that was Bisping that you talked to, man, in the post fight. But I know there's a lot of emotions, man. Now that's over, I think you told him that you got touched up a little bit more than you would like to, man. But could you just walk us through that fight?
Man, it was. Can y'all hear me? Cause it's breaking up really bad. Like I can't even see that. I can see you now. All right, that's clear now. But man, the first round, I was just trying to fill things out and let him feel my presence with my jab, and also just stay busy, stay moving, and not be right in front of people like I like to be. I like to be right in front of people sometimes. So I mean, I just feel like the fight like went unexpected for him. They didn't expect me to wrestle. They didn't expect me to grapple at all. Nobody expects me to be well rounded, but shit, I can mix it up, and that's what I'm gonna do from now on. Then when I say I'm gonna step my stuff up, like I really feel like y'all have not seen me yet. Like y'all have not seen Mr. Vicious truly yet. Like y'all ain't really seen what I'm really capable of. Like I just feel like I got levels and levels and levels to rise, and I'm going to. I'm gonna put myself in the most uncomfortable spots, and I'm gonna grind my ass off until I'm the best.
We look forward to seeing those levels, man. But when you walked into the cage, being that you lost your first 2 official UFC fights coming off the show, what was at stake for you?
It was pretty cool, man. It's kind of over one. Like it's weird because you got people there staring at you and fans there cheering and stuff, and like it's cool, but it's weird at the same time because you know that camera that's in your face has millions of eyes watching it. So it's like you don't want to like slip and fart or anything because like it's gonna go viral. You know what I mean? Like everything everything you like it's just crazy. But I'm blessed. I'm grateful, man. I'm thankful for my brother Dhiego. I'm thankful for Coach Saif Saeed for allowing me to come train with them. And actually, I was invited by my boy Kennedy, Nadja boy. He's about to fight too. He's about to fight in like 2 weeks. Ryan Span, shout out to Superman Span. Big bro went in there and got it done. I respect me and him have had many great talks, and we've got to train. Me and Jeff Neal have been training. So I mean, man. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I'm just scratching the surface.
That was a question I had, Tresean, is you've been at ATT Lima, which is the gym of the year in Georgia last year and highly regarded this year. I did read you went out to another gym to train. Why did you leave Atlanta to train, and what did you get out of it? And where did you train?
Well, like Douglas and I mean Dhiego just retired. So I mean like he was focused on his career and trying to run a gym. Like running a gym is hard as hell, and he's been trying his best. And also Douglas has been focused on his career. So Douglas had just fought and was out. He was out of town, like in Brazil or somewhere. So I didn't really have anybody to move with like that, and I didn't have anybody to like focus on me and like help break down my opponent and stuff. And that's really like even my fight with Cody Brundage, like Dhiego wasn't able to be there because he's a preacher too. Like he preaches, and he was like he had to go to a really important sermon. I understand because I'm a brother in Christ too. When Douglas had a fight 2 weeks after me, so he was focused on himself. I understand, but I had to go like somewhere where like they could like purely focus on me, and I feel like it got me better. But my gym is still top notch. My gym is still the best in the world. I do believe. I just feel like it's nothing wrong with having 2 gym homes, and that's just my second gym home. That's it.
Saif said that you wrote him a letter and that you reached out and talked to him. Could you just explain what you asked him, like what was said to Saif?
I just respectfully asked him if I could come by and train. Like it wasn't nothing like intense. So I just asked him, man. I said, sir, like I really respect you, like, and I would love to come train at your gym, learn and pick your brain. And he was accepting of it. He was cool of it. Kennedy originally invited me there, because he saw that I needed like more people with me for my fight with the guy I lost to. He saw that I needed more people with me, so he reached out to me, and then had me reach out to Coach Safe, and that was it.
How have you been able to balance, your career,
But yeah,
and now
man.
that you're a new father, and now going to different gyms, man? Like outside of the cage, what does that balance look like for you?
It's hard, man. This life is hard. Like it's not easy. Traveling and going all over the world when your baby is growing up. I'm missing moments every time I come back. My son's saying new sentences, and I'm like, damn, like life flies by, and it's like I don't want my baby to forget me, but at the same time, like it's like I'll be on the road for my baby boy, so he don't have to worry about his college tuition being paid. I'll be on the road for my baby boy and his mother, so they don't have to worry about anything, like cause daddy got it taken care of. Cause shit, back in the day, the cavemen had to go hunt. They had to go out there with all the dinosaurs and stuff. I feel like I'm just hunting right now. I'm hunting, and every time I fight, I'm hunting from now on. I'm not feeling that failure, that feeling of failure no more. So whatever I got to do to win, I'm gonna do it.
Speaking of hunting, what is next for you? Have they talked to you about what fight is next for you? Are you going to take December off and have the holidays and get fat, or are you going to stay training and see if there's a last minute call for you?
I hit up. I already told them the night of the fight that I could fight again in December, but Dhiego wants me to like relax with my family because I've been training all year. I've been training. I lost. I fought Battle, questionable decision. I could have won that too. Then I lost my other fight in July, and I jumped right back in there in October 29th. So now I'm gonna relax a little bit and get better. I feel like it's nothing. I feel like there's no reason for me to rush anything. I just need to improve, and I'm going to. And I'm gonna fight again maybe around like February, March. And the fight for me that I would love right now is like, man, I would love to fight like a top person, but at the same time, I can't really call many names right now because shit, I gotta get more experience and stuff. But I would love to right now in this point in my career, I would love to like if Kevin Gastelum got a fight right now and somebody was to back out from the fight, like I would jump in to fight him.
Ooh.
Or if that dude Marvin Vettori, like if somebody jumped out of a fight and they got injured or something, I would jump in there and fight these guys because I know I have the capabilities of beating them.
Yeah, when you look at the UFC's middleweight division, man, like you're in it now. You're not just looking from it from afar. Like, nah, you in the Shark Tank now, man. Like, how do you see that division? Obviously,
It's dangerous as hell. It's a very dangerous division. But my goal is to be the most dangerous one out of all of them. That's my goal, and I feel like I'm still learning how to develop my combinations. I'm still learning how to set stuff up. And once I put it all together, once I put all the pieces to the puzzle, like I'm gonna be unstoppable. But I'm just working on becoming the unstoppable person I know I can be. But hell yeah, man, there's a lot of sharks in there. You see Dan Pereira's big ass. They ain't going Izzy been a complete calculator and computer in there. You got Robert Whitaker, great fighter. Jarrett Cannonier. I'm not fighting Cannonier based off the fact I met him, I trained, and he's giving me the best advice I could have, and I look at him like as a mentor. But like everybody else in the middleweight division, we can go. We can go. And even Paulo Costa, like, I feel like you give me a 3-4 month camp and you let me really have people focus on me with mitts, and I feel like I would beat him, man. I feel like I would beat these top guys. I just gotta let me shut up, man.
And the good thing is we had Cody Durden on last week on this podcast, and the cool thing is you're in a weight class where you do have a lot more guys out there that are well known. You have a lot more fights that you can step up and fight somebody, and you can be higher up on a UFC card. You know, compared to someone like Cody, who's a 125 fighter, it kind of makes it difficult for him, where you have a lot of options out there.
Shit, Cody's gonna make some noise, man. Like y'all didn't
He
see
is
him,
going to.
y'all didn't see him on the mitts. Like he's evolved. He's not just a wrestler anymore. Like he moves very well now, and I plan on taking this shit over with my boy. You know what I mean? I really do, and I'm very grateful to be here, and thank you, David, for allowing me to fight on your show and giving me the spotlight when I just came here from South Carolina and called out Robert. And now me and Robert, that's my boy now. That's my brother. Shit, I'm ready to see Robert get to the UFC too, and he will soon.
What about an odd question? What about someone like LJ Jones? You guys were the biggest fight in Georgia a few years ago. Do you guys ever see each other? Have you guys ever talked since then?
I haven't seen him since that fight, and he hasn't fought since that fight.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm not looking at that and bragging on that, because that was I didn't purposely like break his knee like that. I wish him all the best in life, and if he was to make it to the UFC, I would be happy for him. And if he and I would, and hell, like I wish him nothing but prosperity. I have no hate toward him at all, But if when it come down to fighting me or disrespecting where I train at ATT, like we can fight about that.
Mr.
Like
Vicious. That's what he said. That's Mr. Vicious right there.
Yeah, man. I'm like, no disrespect to him. I do respect him, but I'm saying, if you disrespect ATT Team Lima, wearing ATT killer shirts and stuff, like we can fight, and that goes for LJ or anybody, like anybody in the NFC community. Like, just don't disrespect somebody that brought me on when I didn't have nothing. That's just how I feel about it. But respecting him, he's a big dude, respectable dude. Like I respect him. And I wish him and his family nothing but great success.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you guys ever bumped into each other, because he did go away for a couple years, but I have seen him at a couple fights now, and I saw him at LA Fitness a couple weeks ago. He lost a lot of weight from where he gained after that fight. So he has said he wanted to come back, but we'll see if he ever does. But the good thing is, I think he is also. But the good thing is he's local, and you're now worldwide. So. It is what it is now.
Yeah, but I mean, shit. Like at the end of the day, I'll get in there and have an exhibition or something with him.
You already
tournament or something. No, I'm just playing.
You already beat him. It's peaceful now. That's a good thing. Once you beat someone, it's over with. So that's over and done, and you came out on top there.
Tresean, man, and that was a big fight. What did Jared Cannonier share with me?
Yeah,
he told me, he pretty much told me that I'm very, very strong. I could just tell that he was shocked by my strength, and he also just told me like how to invest my money and to just be like, don't be going out being lavish and stuff. Man, we had like a damn 40-minute hour conversation, man. Like he was just, man, like him and his whole team. Like, I could tell they believe in me. They know I could go far in this sport. They see my skills, like. But in a nutshell, he was just telling me to invest right. He was telling me to invest correctly, and he was also telling me he believes I'm gonna go very far in this sport too, and it just made me start looking at him as like a mentor, like somebody I could look up to in this sport.
Tresean, you're also, whenever the mic cracks, man, you're the first one to say, man, I just got to give it up to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, man. Could you talk about your journey in faith?
Man, I became really close to God whenever I, grew up. I grew up. Y'all know my story. Like, my mother did what she did, which she didn't do anything bad. She just struggled with, a crack addiction. doesn't make her not an incredible person. My father also, like, I was born June 21st on my father's birthday, and I've never received a birthday present. I've never received anything from him. And I guess, like, when you don't have two parents to just call when you're hurt, I would go in my room and pray and cry to God. And I feel like he's who raised me. He put people in my life that changed the way I thought and viewed things. He put my wife, my son in my life. He allowed me to meet Dhiego and Douglas. Like, he allowed me to get better in this sport, the most dangerous sport in the world. When I've been praying since I was a kid to be the best in the world. So I believe that it's going to be him that blesses me to rise up in this division full of sharks and to be the best one day. So I believe he's the one that raised me. That's just it. That's why I'm close to him.
That's real. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we're being joined here by Tresean, Mr. Vicious Gore, here on NFC Now. You told us about what you would possibly want moving forward, man. But before we allow you to part ways, man, final thoughts, man. Something on your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul that you want to leave the NFC community with today.
Man, whoever's watching, I don't know if it's many or few, but I'll just say, like, whoever's watching, just no matter where you're at in life, just keep moving forward and keep a smile on your face, even when you feel like frowning, even when everything around you is falling apart. Be that beacon of light, and be that beacon of hope, and be the change, be the difference. Don't let addictions, suicidal thoughts, or feelings of inadequacy stop you from being anybody. Don't feel like you're too old. Don't feel like you're too young. Go get it, believe in your dreams, and trust in God. That's the only thing I can say, man. And I just want to thank Tribe Mechanical. I want to thank Barber Orthopedics. I want to thank freaking Bully X Kennels. I want to thank Eat Clean, bro. I want to thank Jason Ferguson Law Firm. I want to thank the NFC community, like, for bringing me on. And I want to thank David Oblas for being the man he is. I want to thank Julian Virgin for being the man he is. Thank y'all for having me on here today.
Tresean, we wish you, beautiful baby boy, your wife, and just everything that you stand for, man. As you go out there, when you walk out, you said that camera's looking at you. Just know that the entire NFC community is rooting for you, man. Win, lose, or draw, you got the whole city.
Win. Thank you. I love y'all, man. And like I said, man, I promise you right now, I'm about to level up, man. That's all I'm gonna leave y'all. I'm gonna level up. Don't be shocked. But y'all be blessed.
Much respect.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, appreciate y'all. Later.
You smiling real hard. What you smiling so hard for, Dave?
Because I know you're going to screenshot some of these, so I'm trying to look as good as I can in all the screenshots you do. Because you keep screenshotting where you look good and I look all fat and mean and mugging and this and that. So I'm going to keep smiling more just because I don't.
Hey, on YouTube, if I don't actually make a thumbnail, they only give us 3 options.
I know, because fighters have yelled at me all the damn time saying, why'd you use that photo? I'm like, dude, because I'm lazy. I got to get this job done and move on to the next job. That's why. And like you said, you only get 2 or 3 unless you want to go out and design your own. So it's quickness.
And so,
I get
you got to continue to smile. But I was smiling. I like your answer to that. I didn't expect that coming. I was smiling because, man, I thought I love Tresean's demeanor. I love his vulnerability. I love his honesty, man. I feel like that was my first time, like, really actually having a dialogue with him. You've dealt with him a lot in the past. What did you see from when you met Tresean back in the day?
I think he had no confidence back in the day. He had zero confidence. He was lost. He was just doing it to do it. And now he's got all the confidence in the world. He's finally got his first UFC win. He's cross-training at 2 different gyms now. So hopefully he's a dangerous man. I mean, hopefully he's changed, and I know he's changed from back then. And he's got money now, so that's the best thing. He's finally making a lot of good money fighting, which coming from his background is damn good for him.
What does it mean to you, too, to, see somebody who comes in here with no confidence, man, but to be able to build themselves up to somebody that now we're able to watch on Saturday nights in the UFC?
I think it's everyone did their job. Him going from an amateur fighter to co-main event, main event on the amateur side, pro side, fought LJ Jones in the most hyped fight in Georgia. And probably the last 4 or 5 years, I mean, the crowd was electric at Cowboys. He won that fight. He's gone on to fight in the UFC. So, I mean, we've talked about it different times when having Cody Durden on and other guys are now in UFC. You know, I know Brantley Furr and their independent trainers get a lot more credit for building them. But it's pretty cool for us because this is what we brag about, guys that start in the NFC 0-0 and get to the UFC where they're as talked about as they are. You know, we didn't do anything right. We just happened to be in the right spot at the right time, but it's really the fighters doing that. So,
I think it's a beautiful thing every time like a fighter like Tresean does go on to fight in the UFC, man. Like the night of his fight, everybody's like super excited in the NFC community. They're rooting for it. You know, Jesse's be the first one to post a like team Gore. Like I love that level of pride that we have for anybody who's ever touched or been around the NFC, man. So again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFC Now. This is show number 9. We just had on Tresean Gore, and now we're about to welcome a man in which we've been trying to get on the pod for a good bit, and somebody that every fighter that's ever been on here that has trained with him speaks so highly of. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome Brantley Furr to the show. Brantley, what is up?
What's up, Blas? What's up, Julie?
what's going on? I'm wearing my X3 hoodie because we've got 3 guys from Team Lima on here, so I'm trying to level it up a little bit to other gyms. So next week, if anyone else sends me a hoodie, I'll wear theirs next week as well.
I'll get you an ATT hoodie, bro. We just got some new ones in.
I'll come next time by the gym. I'll come buy one. Absolutely.
Bet.
I think that's a good place to start, man. ATT Team Lima, man. That's how I know you. We see you in the corner of so many different fighters representing ATT Team Lima. What does that gym mean to you?
Man, it's everything, man. When we opened up, we were ATT Gwinnett, and we got there, and I took over the head coaching job. I've believed in this team through and through, man. Mind, body, and soul. I believed it, and I feel like the rest of the fighters and the coaches, they're believing too, and that's a big thing. We believe in each other, man. It's everything to me. This is not just a hobby, man. This is a lifestyle, man. You know, I live, eat, sleep, and breathe this thing, man. You know, so it's everything. It's the world to me.
How long have you been a part of ATT? You said it was Gwinnett at first, but ATT Team Lima.
I'm not exactly sure what year they opened, but as soon as ATT Gwinnett opened, I was teaching some cardio kickboxing classes over there and a couple of fill-in spots here and there. And they had a head coaching job open up, and I jumped on it, man, and I never looked back. You know, I'm not exactly sure what year that was, but it's been a while now.
Indeed. You're 37 now.
Yeah.
You haven't fought in about 2 years. Would you say, are you officially retired?
I believe so, man. Sometimes I have mixed feelings. You kind of go back and forth, but obviously that's not the way you want to be in fighting. You don't fight with 1 foot in and 1 foot out, man, you know? So, ever since I've taken over coaching, man, I felt like it was going to be kind of hard to fill that void of fighting, but man, coaching, leaps and bounds, man. I love it. It really fills that void. It feels good to give back, and I live vicariously through these guys. I keep telling them, man, I have the best seat in the house, man, and I don't have to take the damage anymore, you know, and I still get to be a part of it and around it through and through. So I don't see myself going back to it, man. I'm so focused on coaching and putting my heart and effort into these guys and seeing them succeed. So probably not, man.
Indeed.
You could just be like Doug Usher and Mike Wilson and retire every Monday and then unretire every Thursday.
Just tired. Yeah. Nah, man, I'm gonna sorry, cut off on me. There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't have a wife and kids at that time, man, and fighting comes with a lot of sacrifice, and you know, I'm already sacrificing enough. I work split shifts. I'm here in the morning and at night too, and I'm not gonna give up that time with my wife and my boys, man.
I have seen that lately. You training some of the fighters in your front yard or whatever. Is that something that's been going on forever and we didn't know, or just the photos coming out now, or is that just something training them on the farm there?
Yeah, we call it the Fur Farm, man. the guys like to come out there every now and again, man. It's fresh air, man. It's out in the country. It's nice. It's peaceful. We just come out there and work. There's no distractions or people watching you or asking you questions or anything. It's just straight work, man. And it really happened when COVID came around. The gyms were closed down, man. So we weren't stopping, man. So I just kept having the guys whenever we were doing PTs or pad work or sessions, they came to the house, man, and we got the work in. There was no stopping us, man. And so that's kind of how that came about. And that was the spot until the gym opened back up.
Now, you talked about how you're pouring your all into the fighters, man, and how much like you're living vicariously through them.
Yeah.
They speak so damn highly of you, Brantley. Like even like on air and off air, we'll be at the fights and people just speak so highly of you, man. Why do you think that is?
I think the guys, man, they know that I really care about them, man. I genuinely care about them, and I'm super, super invested in this. I always have that little saying, man, if you're all in, I'm all in, man, you know, and, you know, they're sacrificing so much. I see them in here working 2 and 3 times a day, man, and they're working hard, you know, and I'm going to do the same thing, man. You know, they're sacrificing, so I'm going to do the same thing too, you know, and I want to see them reach their goals and their potential, man, you know, so I'm going to give them everything I have, man. You know, I'm not going to shortcut them or, you know, and I don't expect them to do that to me.
So, Oakboro, North Carolina, man, growing up. What did that look like?
Man, you can imagine, man, small town, out in the sticks, man. I think my high school had like around the football field, man, my high school had a cow pasture around it, man. So it's super country, man. That's kind of how I got into fighting, man. There was not much going on there, and same kind of backstory as the other guys and girls, man. You know, you're kind of bored, man. I was finding myself going out on the weekends and hanging out with the same people and drinking and getting into fights and doing dumb shit, man. You know, so something had to change, man. So I kind of got out of there.
Got out of there. How did you get introduced to martial arts?
Going to these parties and things, man. I was getting into fights and being young and dumb, and I was like, you know what, I need to figure out a fight. And then 11 months in, I took my first mixed martial arts fight, and I won in 36 seconds with a guillotine choke. I was hooked, man. That's all it took. And as I was in North Carolina and training, I started gaining ground on some of the guys that I was training with, you know, and we had a small group of MMA fighters, not a lot of us. So I was like, man, I need to keep evolving and get better. So I drove guys out to Georgia, man, and that's how I met Dhiego and the Limas and all those guys, man, and they just, man, I went to these training sessions, dude, and they beat my ass. And I was like, okay, this is where I need to be, you know. So I moved to Georgia. I stayed with a friend, or it was my aunt. Slept on a blow-up mattress, man, for like 3 months. So I found an apartment, man, and I never came back. Never went back.
I have always wondered that, how someone as nice as a guy as you, or as nice as you now, maybe you're an asshole back then, I don't know, but someone so nice now gets in street fights or whatever, because I'm 5'4". Everywhere I go, I'm always the smallest guy, and I haven't been in a fight since 2nd grade. You're maybe 2 inches taller than me. I don't know. How did you get picked on that much, or you get in fights that much, being such a nice dude?
Man, you know, like I said, a little young and dumb, man, and a little bit of liquid courage too, you know, going out. A lot of times it always seems like too, man, guys would either target me because I was a smaller guy. I guess that looked like an easy target, or it was either taken up for friends or whatnot, man, and I didn't want them to get bullied or messed with. So I always kind of chimed in, and then it seemed like to be me was the one that ended up fighting in the end, you know. So, but since I started martial arts, man, I have not been in a fight outside of the cage, not one time, man. So it's very humbling, you know, and it makes you realize that that stuff is not necessary, you know.
Being the smallest guy, I guess similar to now, I always like to talk junk, so I'll talk junk to anyone in a bar, and I'll back my friends up. But when the fight actually starts, I get the hell out of there. Yeah. Like if you're looking for backup, I am not the guy that's going to help you out of the bar at all. But The NFC awards banquets are coming up probably in January or February. And the funny thing is, when we put them up last year, and this was the first time it exploded like that. We asked people to just nominate one person for a category, but once one person gets nominated, you don't have to comment 600 times with the same person. Once you see, Dhiego Lima as Fighter of the Year nominated, boom, it goes on our spreadsheet. Last year, every single damn post I saw was Brantley Furr, Coach of the Year, Brantley Furr, Coach of the Year. And I think since we've gone live on here, we've had 3 people, including Adele Gladney, say, let's go, Brantley Furr, Coach of the Year.
That's my boy, man.
You get more nominations for that than anybody else in the history of our 15-year banquet.
I love it, man. I want that plaque again, man. I want that title again. Same thing, man. These guys are working for wins and belts, and I want the same thing, man. If they succeed, I'm succeeding too, man. If they win, we all win, baby.
And I will say there's not too many gyms, and I'm friends with almost every gym owner, every trainer. I think I like them all equally, and a lot of them like me. But there's not it's usually the big awards, Gym of the Year, Coach of the Year. It's not too many years consecutive that person would win it. But I honestly think, without looking at all the resumes of all the guys on paper yet, I'd have to think you're in the running for it the second year in a row easily.
Gotta be, man. Gotta be, dude. We're racking up wins, man. And I feel like we have so many fighters, man. We are a fight gym, so it's hard to see it going any other way, man. And we work hard. I'm working hard. Like I said, I want that plaque again, man. I want that title again. I want to be the best coach. I want to be the best gym. I want to be the best at what we're doing.
Brantley, now that your career has completed, when you in your coaching, when you look back at your career, man, what are some things that coaches have told you that now you've attempt to just teach your students?
What am I taking from like my fighting career?
Yeah, that like you really want to like instill onto the students that you have now.
Man, a lot of it is self-belief. I feel like I know that's probably seems small, man, but I think when I was fighting, I had a lot of potential, man. I just lacked some of that self-belief. Sometimes I would get in my head a little bit and overthink things and not believe in myself as much, man. And this is not the sport where you have self-doubt, man. You have to believe in yourself, man, and believe in the work you're doing and believe in your skill set. And a lot of this is mental, man. The fighting is mental, and I'm trying to make those guys understand that. And win, lose, or draw, too. I feel like some of these guys, I had the feeling like when I lost, it was the end of the world, and nobody believed in me, nobody cared about me, but that's not it. I still believe in those guys when they take an L. Their families still love them. Nothing changes, man. You pick yourself up, dust yourself off, man, and you get your ass right back to it, and I want them to understand that, just because you take an L or lose a fight, man, nothing changes, we just keep the ball rolling, and I think the mental aspect of his life is what I've taken away from it fighting, and I want them to understand that.
And I feel bad because your last fight of your career, pending you come back, your last fight was the worst fight in the history of my 21 years. I still have PTSD from doing an outdoor event. It was the Buckhead Saloon fight. And this is what we had to do during COVID. During COVID, I had to find new venues. I had to find something outside. We did Buckhead Saloon. We did Harley Davidson. We put dressing rooms outside when we were at district. Like during COVID, everything changed. But that was the worst event, the night of the torrential downpour. Plus, there was a hole in the middle of the tent. I remember you slipping and sliding all over the place. We had to do some of the fights the next day on Sunday. I made it completely free for fans to come in on Sunday. And then people chewed my ass out because I made it free, and the people that paid wanted their money back. So I apologize that your last fight was absolutely by far the worst fight in the history of the state of Georgia.
Man, it wasn't your fault, man. That was just the circumstances, you can't help the weather, man. You guys tried to do the best you could with it. And, man, I went through three opponents, I think it was three opponents, man, or something like that, dude. And y'all were working so hard to find me an opponent, and I wasn't backing out, man. We were going to do it. But I think the worst thing out of all that was when I had to fight the next day, man. Trying to recreate that, man. You're there and you're trying to get the adrenaline going, man, and you're hyped up. And then when they tell you you're not fighting, and you go home and, you have that adrenaline dump, man, and you try to recreate it the next day. It was super hard. And then Dhiego couldn't be there as well, too. He had already changed his flight. He had to be – I think he was leaving out for Douglas's flight. but he had pushed it back till Sunday morning, and then my fight got switched till Sunday morning, so he couldn't be there. So it was complete chaos, dude. But that's the way life goes, man. You know?
Yeah. Even on my side, my car broke down in the parking lot that night. Charlene had to drive me home to Smyrna in the pouring rain. Then she had to drive all the way back to wherever she lives, North Georgia, Lawrenceville, whatever. The next morning, I had to take an Uber. I take an Uber to Home Depot, bought 6,000 rags, took an Uber to Buckhead Saloon. I was there by 7 a.m., making sure that cage was completely and utterly dry the next morning. And that's the first time I've ever been to Buckhead at 7 a.m. sober and not shit-faced from the night before. I walked to Whole Foods for breakfast by myself at 7 a.m. They weren't even open yet on Sunday morning with the breakfast bar. I think I walked to McDonald's, and then I sat and I slept in the cage by myself from like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. when people finally started coming to Buckhead Saloon. But I think that was a complete and utter shit show and nightmare for everyone involved. And I can't even imagine what it was like for you or your opponent that was from there, from out of state as well. I mean, it was horrible.
Man, it was terrible. I remember going home after that fight too, man, and my parents and my wife, they had pizza and cake and cupcakes, man. I couldn't eat none of that stuff, man. I didn't want to go back the next day and my stomach be funny or anything, man. Just terrible circumstances, but, you know, what do you do, man?
Yeah.
You talked earlier about how, you know, when I asked you about your fighting career and is it over, is it not, you talked about now that you're a father, you have two boys at home, man.
Yeah.
How have you been able to balance fatherhood and being a trainer now and being a coach?
I think the coaching thing is easier to balance than guys we're talking to, than easier to balance than being a fighter and a father at the same time. I think coach, man, it's pressure, but I don't have as much pressure, you know what I mean, as the fighters, man. You know, when you start getting close to those fights, everyone gets nervous, but I think it's super amplified for the fighters, man. But I balance it well, man. You know, I have my boys in the morning. I get to see them and take Dax to school and then drop my son Bricks off at Granny's. I come in, do my thing here at the gym, and then I still get to go get my son and see him in between the day. And then my wife works out here at night, and my son takes jiu-jitsu as well, too. So it works out, man. I get to see him in the morning, and I get to see him in the gym, and they love the gym, and they like seeing me, you know, in here working and holding pads and stuff. So it works out, man. I love it, man. We're gym rats, dude. I don't see myself doing anything else. I know I'm, you know, this is it, man. This is what I'm going to do. There's no baby.
Father has definitely changed me, man. It's just made me a lot sharper. And how would you say fatherhood has changed the game for you, Brantley?
I keep telling those guys, my fighters too, man. It helps me too. I know those guys, the boys are always watching me, man. So it keeps me on my toes, dude. I have to conduct myself properly and try to be a leader, man, you know, because I can see them always watching me and watching what I do, you know. So it really makes you grow up, and you know, and it changed it's really changed my mindset for the better, man.
Do you have them tatted on you?
I do, man. I have both of my boys' names there, and then my son Dax. I don't know if you can see it. I got him in, man, flexing, bro.
That's gangsta. I like that one.
How old are your kids now?
My son Dax is 5, and my son Bricks is 2.
So you probably didn't see it. My mom was texting me earlier. I didn't even know, but WSB did a special today on kids MMA fighting. It was on the 5 o'clock WSB News, and they're going to talk about it again at 11 p.m. tonight. And the Athletic Commission this Thursday is actually going to take it up, the kids MMA fighting. Justin Brown with Gamma does it. He does it in Tennessee and other states. Have you ever seen the kids fighting? Any thoughts on it either way?
No, I've never seen that, man. I know they have young kids like in Thailand, man. They're having Thai fights at a super young age, but no, I haven't seen that, man. This is the first I heard about it.
Yeah, check out WSB at 11 p.m. tonight. I know Mike Wilson and his guys do it. Warrior Jiu-Jitsu goes up to Tennessee a lot. And I haven't even looked at all the rules. I think in some of the fights that were headgear, you can't punch to the head. So it's mostly grappling and do stuff on the ground. But I didn't know if you've ever counted the years down to when you're going to have your kids fight when they turn 18.
If they want to do that, then so be it, man. I'll try to help them the best I can, man, and have them prepared. But if they want to do it, it's fine. But I think there's maybe a better profession, maybe.
Indeed. Now,
I don't disagree.
I just you know how it is, man. it's fine when you're doing, but as a parent, when you think about your kid doing, you're like, oh shit, man, I don't know if I want my kid doing that or not, but if that's what they want to do and that's where their heart is, man, I'm going to support them 110%, man,
Same way that you do these fighters, man. When it's all said and done, man, what do you want? What do you want your fighters to think of you? Like how do you want to be remembered? Because a lot of people aren't going to go to UFC like we just had on in Tresean, man, but they're going to remember the hours, the amount of sweat that they put in the gym, man. What do you want them to take from Brantley Furr?
I just want my guys to know that I was there for them, man, and that I was genuine, and I was committed for them, and I gave them everything I had, so they could accomplish their goals and dreams, and I supported them. I was always there for them. I always had their back.
And then for your beautiful baby boys, man, what do you want them to know about you, especially as they continue to grow and watch you every day?
Man, their dad was a hard worker, man. He was a grinder, and I chased my dreams too, man. And I want them to see me chase my dreams and reach my dreams and goals, man, and know that they can do the same thing as well too, man. That's why I'm trying to lead by example, man. They're always watching, bro.
I respect that 1,000%.
We were going to have Dhiego Lima on after you, but he's stuck with his kid's softball game. So we're going to delay him till next Monday, actually. He just texted me. But question I was going to ask him is a lot of the gyms make their money on kids' jiu-jitsu, cardio, kickboxing, the CrossFit, and the fight game adds a hell of a lot of marketing to their gyms. It lets a place for their fighters to teach class and make money. But you guys have fully taken in the fight game at your all's gym. Like, why has it been 100% fight gym? And I think you even said that when you first came on, it was the number one fight gym. Like, what's been the theory there to make it so fighter friendly?
Obviously we still have big kids classes, man. And we still have cardio kickboxing and beginners jiu-jitsu and then advanced jiu-jitsu and boxing. We have all those classes and stuff too. But I just think, we built a solid core group of fighters and coaches. And I think we have a lot of great structure in here. And I think the other gyms were realizing that. And they were seeing the videos and the pictures and, the guys performing at the fights. And they needed that work, man. Like some of those guys, like some of the guys that came over here from X3, Nate, Robert, man, Shamel, all those guys, man, they were putting in the work over there, but a lot of it, I think they were having to coach themselves. Like Nate was having to push some of the practices and things too. And I think coming in here, it's kind of like, I call it mindless training, man. Those guys get to come in. They don't have to worry about anything. They just come in and train. We have everything set out for them. It's structured. They just listen and work, man. And I think the guys like that, man. They want to come in. They want to get their work in, progress, evolve. And I think that's where they grow and make man, and we do, man. We have all the fighters, man, and the coaches, man. Jacal's here coaching in the morning. Will Brooks, Diego, Douglas, man, and then we have a lot of young up and comers. Shamel, Christian Turner, man, Adele, dude, you name it, we have it, man. And you should, like, I came in this morning and Jacal was running the practice, dude. There is 30 fighters on the mat right now, man. At pro training, it's insane, man. And I keep telling people this, we're building something special, man. We really are, and this is just the beginning.
I was going to ask you, who is y'all's top pro in your opinion right now, and who also is the top up-and-coming guy that we might not have seen on an NFC fight card? Maybe even someone that's only 1-0 or 1-2-0, whatever. But who's the top guy coming up that we don't know of yet?
Oh, man, that's a toughie, bro.
Yeah, not to put you on the spot or nothing.
Oh, he put you all the way on the spot.
You're gonna piss off 29 guys. 29 guys are about to get pissed, and one's about to be happy.
I know, right? Like, damn, me, coach. I don't know, man. I don't know as far as young. We have, like I said, we have so many young up and comers, man. I know, Christian's. He's my guy, man. That's one of the guys I gravitated to. We seem to click very well. He's a young up and comer. Shamel, man. He's got a ton of potential, man. I just started working with him, but I think we're going to do great things. There's tons of guys, man. As far as amateur goes, Nima is a stud. I've been working with him. He's a silent assassin, man. He's got a ton of potential. Adele is just getting started. Man, there's so many to name, man. There's too many to name. I don't want to put one guy out there, but man, we have it, man. The vets, the young up and comers, the amateurs, man. You name it, we have it, dude. We're gonna take all those NFC belts. I'm telling you, they're gonna be ours, bro.
I think Reese Watkins just commented and said, Carl, I imagine that means Carl Williams, Christian, Trey, Shamel, Nima. So that was Reese Watkins' top 5 right there, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I really think a lot of those guys that he just named, man, those guys are just scratching the surface, man. They haven't even hit their stride yet, man. They got tons of potential, man. They're going to evolve, man, and get a lot better.
Brantley, what does a local promotion like the NFC mean, not only to you, but to the gym and to the fighters?
That's all, man. They're giving these guys a platform to get their name out there, to get their face out there, and get to bigger shows, man. And it's huge for us, man. It's really huge. They always treat us well. They always recognize us, man, and it's good for the guys, man. It's great. Y'all still hear me?
Yeah, now you kind of broke up just a little bit, and so like whenever that happens, I just smile. I just kind of put the cheese on to make sure everything's cool, man. But what I did hear was that you said it's good for everybody, man, because those fighters are able to just have that platform to showcase their skills. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it gets their name out there. It gets the face out there, man. It's building blocks for their future, man. It's these guys are giving them a start, man, and so they can get onto those bigger shows and bigger promotions and make money and make a name for themselves, man. It's huge, man.
And I noticed, man, last fight at Tannery Road, man, every time I was like, hey, T, Lima, and like the whole crowd just really got behind it. I'm sure that brings you and everybody else that goes to the gym a sense of pride.
Yeah, man, we here the guys feel it, man. Everybody will say that, whether it's fighters or members or whatever. When they come in here, man, it feels different gym, man. It's a real view, man. It feels like you feel like everyone has your back, man. And it's really genuine. You don't feel like there's anybody who's like who's gunning for you. Everybody's just pushing you to reach your full potential, man. They're trying to pull the best out of you, man. And we feed off that, man. Like-minded. Everybody's goal oriented. So they feel that, man. They feel the genuine.
So is this an open invite for me to come down there and come train?
Come. Let's go.
Say no more, man.
You're welcome anytime.
Say no more, man. I look forward to getting in there, getting on the mats with you, Coach Brantley Furr. Before we part ways, man, we want your final thoughts, man. What do you want to leave the NFC community with?
No, man, I just want to thank O-Blocks and Jesse and you, Julian, man, for giving us the platform, or giving my guys the platform to get their name and face out there, man. And the NFC podcast is dope too, man. You guys are doing great things. I love it, man. I really do, man. I'm glad to be a part of it, and I thank you guys, man. It's much.
Absolutely. Coach Brantley Furr, man, we appreciate you, man. I know I've been bugging you since the inception of the pod to come on here, man, to come join us. It's just because we respect you, man, and we listen to what other people have to say, and they speak nothing but greatness on your name, man. So just continue to be that inspiration, continue to be that light, and as you said earlier, man, continue to give those fighters that self-confidence so they can be the best fighters they can possibly be. Much respect to you on behalf of the entire NFC community and NFC Now Pod.
Oh, well, thank you, Julian. Thank you, David.
Appreciate the time.
No problem, man.
Started getting a little choppy towards the end, huh?
It did. I'm not the internet guru. Why does it come on and go out during this stuff like that? I've never really understood that.
I don't know, man.
He wasn't changing locations.
He wasn't. He was there. It might be. Is it ATT? Is it ATT in Lima?
I was
everything but Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I was going to ask him if he was at the home or at the gym. I assumed he was still at the gym, but I didn't know that for a fact. Maybe we should have had. Hey, Brantley, if you're at the gym, put a thumbs up because we can still see you.
I'm assuming he's still in the gym.
Yeah, I think it's still at the gym.
Hey,
So,
but
yeah.
you know what? I think before all the technical difficulties, man, I think Brantley, it seems like you were trying to hand them an award right now, and I wasn't ready to do that just yet. I figured we were gonna get everybody else their credit, but obviously the way that his students speak on him, it speaks for itself.
I think he's definitely in the running. I'm not giving awards out. He's definitely in the running. I'm wearing my X3 hoodie just to even things out tonight. And Dhiego Lima stood us up tonight. So if he was Gym of the Year, we're taking it away because Dhiego just canceled on us for next Monday.
It is what it is, man.
But yeah, I love ATT Lima. I love ATT Atlanta. I love all gyms equally. I wish I started training jiu-jitsu 20 years ago because then I could walk into these gyms and train with them side by side. I wish I'd started doing that, but unfortunately I didn't. Everyone says it's not too late, but I don't know.
I think some people will be looking for you on the mat. I think they'd be like, oh, yeah, I want to match up with that guy right there. I want some of him.
They got to go back and watch the Dramonte video and think about that twice.
So whatever happened with that fight?
I came in first place. He came in second. That's about it.
Say no more, man. Hey, it's your world, David. We just living in it. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFC Now. This is show number 9. I'm assuming that we are about to hit a detour, being that Dhiego Lima isn't joining us this evening.
Yeah, I see DJ Ogletree in the thing. I don't know if Larry Greene is in there or not. Larry Greene says he's in there. Larry, we see on your side it says device is not connected. So if you're in there, Larry, clear up your screen. I know you're an IT guy, so we can see you in there. But yeah, we're going to talk about UFC. I see Larry in there now. Let's see so you guys can be the first time we brought 2 people in. So let's bring in both DJ and Larry Greene. Talk about UFC 281.
Damn time.
Yes, sir. You already know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Larry Greene and DJ Ogletree joining us here on NFC Now. Gentlemen, respect, man. Rep your set then, man. What's up? Where you at? Is that where you at right now?
Nah, man, I'm at work. I'm just shouting out good old Dr. Weeks. Helped me out with some work this morning. Definitely needed that. If you don't know Dr. Weeks, I suggest you go find who he is and get in touch with him.
We're going to figure it out. You know what? I'm having just a little difficulty here. I can hear you, but it's light.
Let's see. Is that better?
I can hear Larry just fine. And I love Dr. Weeks, but I can hear you.
That might be just me. DJ, what's up, brother?
What's up? How you been?
Maintaining, bro. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. How you living?
Yes, sir. We still pretty. We still pretty.
You know it, man. You know it, bro. So what's the word, man? I'm happy that y'all are joining us right now for the NFC Now pod. Are y'all frequent viewers?
Oh yeah, always, every week.
You make my Mondays that much more enjoyable at work.
For real?
Yes. Yes.
So
best 2 hours I get right here.
This is show number 9, man. How can we continue to just push the show and make it better, man?
Keep going.
Keep going, yeah.
Keep going.
Good word.
Keep going.
For sure. Look, we love to I can speak for David too. We love to put on for the fighters, man. Like I love talking, even when I'm just at the fights. I just love talking to y'all. Just in between the fights, because look, I'm not gangster enough to hop into the cage and actually be fighting somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are.
I see you
just
training.
Don't know it yet.
Hey, we see you coming.
In due time, man. But Larry, you took that fight on a day's notice, man. I was at the weigh-ins when David was kind of making that fight, and I didn't know what was going on, man. But you took it, man, and I respect that. And then even afterwards, when I talked to you in the cage, you was like, "Yo, man the fuck up! Like everybody, man up! Like you talk about you gonna be a fighter, man." So we haven't talked to you since, man. How you been?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. Just working a lot. My work schedule changed a little bit, so I'm not in the gym as much, but I'm still there. But yeah, I mean, I'm good. Eyes fine. When OC kicked me, caught all of his big toe right in my eye socket. So I could take punches, I could take kicks, but I'm not taking another toe to the eye. I'll just say that.
When you look back at that whole experience about how that fight came about and how the fight went and this everything, just making the walk that night, man. What are you most proud about?
Oh man, most proud about that I accomplished something that not a lot of people would do. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got into this sport 10 years ago. I was sitting at the bar with the homies just watching these guys fight on TV, and I said to myself secretly, I can do that shit. I've been through football practices, been through lacrosse practices, been to wrestling practices, football practices. If you can't have a little physical contact growing up, who hadn't been in a street fight? Who hadn't been in a little fist fight? Why not? So when that opportunity presented itself, we're gonna blame Austin for that one. I'm always with Austin at the weigh-ins. I'm always with Austin in his corner. And I thought Dave was joking. Hey man, it is what it is. I looked at Austin, was like, you might as well. I mean, you've been preparing. I had two other guys literally back out on me. I was supposed to fight in September and October for another promotion. One guy couldn't get off work. I respect that. The other guy was scared to get on the airplane and fly from like Iowa or South Dakota to go to Myrtle Beach. Like, bro, come on, man. Don't accept the fight and then try to change that plan at the last minute to, drive down. The promotion, I was gonna fight for wasn't with that at all, but it is what it is. But Oshie's cool. I've never had a problem with him. Always been respectful, even when our gyms weren't feeling each other at the time. So it is what it is. But tell me how many people will step up and fight one of the baddest people that you can find in the state of Georgia or anywhere in a tie fight. So don't be afraid.
Hey, you got my respect.
Appreciate it.
DJ, I haven't seen you compete in a while, man. It hasn't been that long, but just as the fights go on, man, it seems like it's been a minute, man. When's the last time you competed?
Last weekend or the weekend before last, not this past Saturday, but the past Saturday before that.
Where at?
Jacksonville on Combat Night with Mitchell. Yeah.
With Mitchell Tremale.
Tremale. Yeah, that's my guy. Hey, look, hey, I told him, hey, after, so I had a first round knockout, and I told him after, I was like, hey, tell David Oblast we coming home, man.
Did you like Mitchell more than me? I know Mitchell's a very likable guy.
Yeah, no, he was more personable. I feel like I see you, but I know you got a business to run. You know what I'm saying? So it's not anything personal. I just feel like, hey, we need to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But he was just there. He was just talking to us. He was like, fighters come first. He just made us feel real comfortable in the back. But I know you're busy running around.
No, me and him are totally different. I've known him for years. I've been to his shows. His shows are different, like a little how do you say, more intimate club shows than mine. And I don't know what. When I went to one of his shows, it was completely 100% standing room only. There are no seats in the venue, so I don't know if there are any seats at the fight you fought at.
This one was at the Prime F Osborne. It was a convention center. It was a massive arena. They had like seats everywhere. It was probably one of the biggest crowds I fought in front of. Tannery Road was a little bit bigger because it was sold out, and that one was maxed out, which is a beautiful venue. I love that one. But yeah, this one was a big venue as well.
Okay, cool.
You got the first round knockout.
First round knockout, yes sir. We try. We try.
When'd you start training and when'd you start fighting?
I started training like a little over a year ago. No prior experience in martial arts at all. Just growing up, I was always just kind of like a protector of the people I love, and then I started fighting right at a year ago, actually. I had my first fight in Tannery Row, actually, yeah. It was with Larry Stewart, who's a killer, but, it was a good first experience. I'll say that. It was a good first experience.
Indeed, man. Indeed. And I, for both of y'all, Larry and DJ, man, what are we fighting for?
You first, man.
Oh, I go first. Family, I do it for fun, but like most importantly, like my mom, man, I love her to death. Like growing up, you know what I'm saying, I had a little bit of a rough childhood, and like I just wanted her to know like she ain't never got to worry about nobody ever putting their hands on her again. And a little bit because like kind of like Larry said earlier, he saw other people doing it, but I saw somebody specifically, and it kind of hurts to say this, but Israel, I saw Israel doing it. He's a skinny dude beating up these dudes with all these muscles, and I was like, hey, that's cool, bro. I want to try it.
All right. Well, for me, it started out as a bucket list. Like I said, I was sitting there at the bar with the homies watching this, and then, I got my first taste in the gym, got in there, got hit, got kicked. Then after that, I really made it my lifestyle, and the next thing you know, I'm watching, Alistair Overeem on YouTube. I'm watching Chris Barnett on YouTube, which is so crazy because I ended up meeting Chris in 2016, lost my mind, and now, I train with Chris, I talk with Chris all the time. And then after that, it's a lifestyle thing now, man. I'm a lot more healthier than I was, 10 years ago, 12 years ago before I started doing all of this. So, I enjoy it. I'm probably never gonna make it to the UFC, but it is what it is. So yeah, I enjoy this stuff. It's fun.
So DJ, you were at the UFC fights this weekend at Madison Square Garden.
Right.
What was that environment like, and how did you end up there?
So I got to go back the one prior, the UFC event prior. I was in Abu Dhabi for that one.
Gangster.
Was crazy. I had my boy, I had two of my homeboys, Juan and Jaquan. They were both with me, and that event was wild because of the experience. Like they really enjoyed that because they don't get it that often. They get it once a year maybe. And so to see them like enjoy that moment and relish in that was cool. And New York was different because when they say the arena erupts and you feel it, you really feel it in New York. And it was crazy, man. I can't describe it. I can't really articulate it and put it into words. But those people up there are wild. Those people up there are mad wild, and they love their fights. For sure.
Which fighter got the biggest pop?
So you had the Jersey boy Edgar, or New York boy, wherever he's from up there. Frankie Edgar, he got a pop. Molly McCann got a. It was a lot of them, man. It was a bunch of them. I was really shocked that Molly McCann got a pop because she was fighting a girl from New York, and they booed the girl from New York, and I was like, "Dang, that's crazy. She's from here."
Just for her to get subbed.
Yeah, just for her to get subbed. She really got beat up the whole fight. But they all got popped, man. Izzy got popped, obviously. It was really, they showed love to all the fighters, really, but like I would say it was probably Frankie Edgar because he was just from their retirement fight. So for sure him.
So I got one question back up. You said you were at Abu Dhabi. This time you're at Madison Square Garden. And hopefully I'm not getting too personal, but what do you do for a living? Because I'm going to New York next month, and that's a big, expensive trip for me to go for 3 days because I'm cheap.
So I work at a college that I graduated from. I just do like enrollment management work. I'm just fortunate enough to be able to find, cheap deals, good deals, good flight tickets,
Damn.
So you do that for fun? Like you'll see an event, and you'll be like, I just want to go.
Yeah, it's real impulse. Like the Abu Dhabi trip was just impulse. I bought the ticket before I even had a passport. I was just like, we going, man. I don't care who's coming with me. I'm stepping. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna live.
I respect it.
And I know, Larry, you work for Delta, I think, so you get a free buddy pass, I imagine, and you've become friends with a lot of UFC fighters. So I know you're at quite a few UFCs all the time.
Man, so to touch base on what he just said, DJ is a Izzy fan. I am not, because obviously he fought my homie, who I'm from the same city with, Derek Brunson. So, I ain't going to hold that against him. And I hope he flew on Delta when he went over there to Abu Dhabi. So look at him, he didn't. I can tell he didn't from the look. But yeah, man, like it's fun going to those events. I've cornered in New Zealand. Derek was a co-main event that night to Mark Hunt and Derek Lewis, which was like crazy. It's one thing going to like a show here in the States, but when you go to a show internationally, it is like different. I don't know if y'all watched the football game yesterday. My Seahawks played Tampa, and the fans were just like still in the stadium after the game was over. That's how they were there. Mark Hunt won. He's from down in that area. I mean, they celebrated that victory like it was a whole nother type of different level of a Super Bowl event that you would ever see, man. So, yeah, he's not lying about that. I can definitely see that.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFC Now. This is show number 9. We're being joined here by DJ Ogletree and Larry Greene as we not only just get to know both of these guys, but also review UFC 281, Israel Adesanya versus my boy Pereira. What's his first name? My bad. Alex Pereira. What did y'all think about that fight?
Not surprised.
That fight, it was good. I think everything Izzy was saying though. Like I think a little bit biased, but I mean he did what he did.
I was not surprised. If you go back and look in the NFC community, I posted my picks and I put up there he was going to lose by damn near being dead. You think about this, right? We've all watched Izzy evolve from when he first stepped into the cage to, Saturday night. What's the one thing he did not do as he walked out to the cage Saturday?
He didn't dance.
He didn't do nothing. He was too worried, in my opinion, or maybe he was just that much focused about trying not to get beat. I mean, dude done beat him once by decision, second time slept him. You better be worried. He told that to Sean Strickland, last fight they all had, and Sean Strickland laughed around. And next thing you know, he's sleeping on top of the Dingo logo in the cage. So, I just wasn't shocked by what took place.
Are we all in agreement that he was up 3-1 going into the fifth?
Yeah.
Easy, yeah,
Yeah. Alex won the second round, in my opinion.
for sure. Yeah.
DJ, what was the venue like after that fight ended? How huge was it right then?
You can tell who's like the Izzy fans and who's the Pereira fans. A lot of people got up and left immediately after he got beat, which I was surprised to see because you know what I'm saying. If you really care about somebody, I feel like you stay, make sure they're good. But nah, people when they saw him lose, they just got up and left. And you had those people who are like majority Brazilians. I would say they travel well. They travel well. They were in Abu Dhabi a lot. You see the flags and everything, and they're screaming at the top of their lungs, "Let's go!" Like we know, like. So that was kind of like the contrast there. You had people leaving and you had people just staying and riding for their guy.
I personally thought the stoppage was a touch early, but at the same time, I'm happy that we don't have memes all over the internet with Izzy's sleep because if he took one more punch, he would have been completely dead on the cage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And I think it was a fair stoppage as well. I think you could have let it go on, but there's a lot of things in the context of what just happened, like that were taking place that I would see why the ref would stop it. Like he fell beforehand, and then he's eating bombs from this dude who has some heavy hands. So I could see it was fair.
So the size difference was real evident on television. I'm assuming what it looked like in person.
If Israel's a true 6'4", Alex is 6'6". Easy. He's a massive man. He trumped Izzy. He made Izzy look like he was small, like 170.
And I feel like that's how it played out throughout the entire fight. It's like Izzy was point fighting him, and he was doing a damn good job at it. He was sticking and moving, getting up out of there. But then, like, it seemed like when Izzy would hit him, Pereira would just be like, all right, I'm about to sun you real quick. And then he would just stalk him down. And it was only a matter of time before he started landing a couple of those punches as he was on the cage. Because he had Izzy on the cage majority of that fight.
Right. I agree. Yeah. I think a lot of that, though, is the styles of the fighters they are. Izzy's a footwork kind of guy, so getting on the cage doesn't really fear him. And, Pereira's coming forward with that left hand. There was a lot of slick stuff that Izzy was doing, like, that he couldn't do with the big gloves in a kickboxing fight. Like, a lot of the things he would do is he would just grab his left hand, trying to figure out where his left hand is, and then moving off the cage off of that. Because if you eliminate that issue, then you can deal with the rest of it because you're not really worried about his right hand and all of that as much as you are the left hand. And then, like, his leg kind of went dead after, like, the second or third round. And then his movement he wasn't moving as well. And that wasn't an excuse. I think that was Pereira just kicking that leg hard. But that's what you do with somebody who moves well. You chop the leg.
Who do you want to see Pereira fight next?
I think he's running back. He's 3-0, but like in MMA and like you had Izzy winning those 3 rounds. And I mean, he was winning that fight. I think you're probably running back in Brazil if you could.
That's a little soon. That's a little soon for PPV.
Wholeheartedly agree. Izzy put in a lot of work. He's ran through a lot of guys. He's brought the UFC a lot of money. They can at least give him a rematch, whether it is in Brazil or if they decide to take it down to not New Zealand, Australia, or even, Vegas. Just somewhere big, but it has to be ran back directly through him. I don't see anybody else that right now and 80, at 85 that is standing out right there to give Pereira a run for that belt.
You don't think Whitaker has anything? Because I personally think Robert Whitaker is top 10 pound for pound in the UFC. He just can't beat Israel.
And there you go. And he can't do it. He can't beat Izzy, right? Pereira just beat Izzy for a third time, but the first time in MMA.
This is my thing when it comes to that grappling exchange that took place in the fourth was quite possibly the worst grappling exchange I've ever seen in my life in UFC. Right. And I know you've seen Robert Whitaker on the ground. Robert Whitaker is a well-rounded fighter. I feel like Robert Whitaker would take that belt from Pereira because he can do some things that Izzy can't. That's all I'm getting at.
I can understand that. I just don't see him getting past that striking like that of Pereira's. Pereira looked real comfortable in there when he's throwing those kicks just off the first the first couple of seconds in the first round, they're just sitting there trading leg kicks. Most people are not trying to check kicks. Some will. He just kept letting them fly, letting them fly, letting them fly. Wasn't too many checks on him. I've never seen really, much of Robert Whitaker going out there doing that same thing, but I could be wrong.
I agree. Robert is dangerous, and I texted somebody after the fight, and I was like, we might have ourselves a rock paper scissors little situation going on here because, that belt can run back and forth between those three easy, and I would say Robert Whitaker, but he has a fight. He's signed to fight Paulo Costa, ain't he? I think he's signed to fight Paulo right now.
True. I think he's gonna run through Paulo. I think Robert Whitaker is again top 10 pound for pound in the UFC roster.
For sure. If Izzy wasn't there, he's a champ. He's a champ. Aside from Pereira, but if Izzy's not there, Pereira's fighting.
And Pereira really hasn't fought many people in that division. If Sean Strickland was the only person that he fought, he didn't fight for Tory. He didn't fight, and he was losing. He was losing those rounds.
Yeah, that was fact. But he did that because of his prior credentials in kickboxing with Izzy and that storyline there. But hey, he deserves the belt. He's a champ, and I'm not gonna tell him he don't deserve it.
Hey, Larry, are you getting paid by Delta right now for this?
I'm on a break.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all I'm gonna say.
Hey, I like it. I wasn't going to call Mr. Delta.
I got an hour left on this shift anyway.
Hey, DJ, did they show Sylvester Stallone and Nate Diaz on the big screen? And what kind of pop did they get?
Yeah. So they showed Sylvester, and he got a huge pop. The crowd saw him, and they started standing up. And I actually take back, Frankie Edgar didn't get the biggest pop. It was Mike Tyson. They showed Mike Tyson, and the arena just erupted like somebody just got slept or something bad. But yeah, Mike Tyson was the biggest one. But they showed Sylvester, and that was pretty cool to see him because he's a legend in his own right.
What about Nate Diaz? Did they not show him?
They didn't show him, and I was surprised. There's a few people they just left out that was out there that they just never showed.
Well, when you tell a company to go F themselves and you talk shit about them, they don't give you as much marketing. Who would have ever guessed that?
Yeah, who would have thought it?
What a surprise. Have you two guys ever befriended each other, Larry and DJ, before this?
Nah, but after hearing how he travels, I'm sure we'll be good friends after this right here.
I met him a few times though, like behind this backstage at the fights. He knows Austin Mallory and Gage and Corey and all them. So those are my people. All them. I've seen him a few times.
I'd imagine you're at the gym right now because I've seen the USA flag at the gym.
Yeah, we just finished up training. We were working some drills tonight, so real easy night.
DJ, what gym are you at?
Go for broke.
Go for broke.
Yes, sir.
So you train with Usher?
Nah.
Corey Clark.
Corey
Clark.
What was the laugh about? It seemed like that was like an inside joke.
No, it wasn't nothing like that. I thought it was like a joke, like an actual Usher joke. But I didn't know I put it together that you were talking about Douglas Usher.
Doug's on the other side of that area.
Yeah, he's over in what, Conyers?
Noonan.
Are you in Griffin, DJ?
We're in Jackson, Georgia, so about 30 minutes outside of Griffin.
Okay, because my mom lives in Griffin, actually, in a neighborhood called Sun City there. I don't know if you're familiar with Griffin.
I know it's Sun City. Yeah, okay. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all the old people go there to retire. Yeah. So what's next for you? Are you taking the holidays off, or do you have anything scheduled?
So yeah, I guess I would be technically taking holidays off. I'll still be training. I think there's an event that Warren's putting on in January that I think I'm fighting on.
Okay.
Let that run through the higher ups. I just get told where to be and when to be there.
Yeah.
Let them stress about it. But yeah, I think it's January. I don't know the exact date, but January.
What about you, Larry? Anything scheduled for you? Or are you taking off for a bit?
No, I'm still at it. So I'll be in Orlando for that card on December 3rd. That's the Kevin Holland card. Derek's fighting on that card, so I'll be there for sure. Wherever he's at, I'm there. And then I have to go down to Houston for Austin Greene's fight with Fury FC around, the third week of December. So yeah, I'm there for that one.
And the funny thing is, I don't think Austin Greene has publicly dropped that yet. I've been watching him. I don't think he has yet. I think
I'm not sure either. But I was talking to him earlier, like, hey man, let me know about this this flight info and stuff. Usually when these guys got to go out of town, I tell them ahead of time, let me know. I can be there, whenever, anywhere. But don't be pulling no last minute stunts telling me, hey, we're leaving this day or that day. Need to know in advance.
I think Austin is doing a wrestling event at District November 26th or 27th. And I saw on the flyer he's defending his District Wrestling title and his NFC Heavyweight Championship that night as well. So,
I did not know you were sanctioning that as well.
I did not know as well, but I'm hoping he wins and I don't have to give the NFC title belt to some fake ass wrestler. So
Going back to our UFC 281 card, we didn't talk about the co-main between the ladies, the strawweight belt that was on the line. What did you think about that fight?
I said before, I think it was a piss break. I don't think anyone cares about Carlos Esparza. That's my opinion.
That's kind of how the crowd was. I think he kind of touched that. But I mean, it was kind of what you expected it to be. Did anybody think that there was gonna be something different there? Like,
was I the only one that thought that it was a good fight?
I think it was actually. Yeah, that early exchange in the wrestling. I think. But after that, you kind of see Weili and her strength just kind of take over. Like, there's not too many people that can handle her.
Yeah, no, I'm with David. Like, it was kind of like one of those piss break type, because again, everybody was coming off the high of that Poirier Chandler fight, which we're about to get to. But I feel like that fight, like, although everybody was like, all right, we're kind of ready for the main event, I felt like that one round of action, that was cracking. They was in there getting to it. Like, those grappling exchanges were like, they were really beautiful to me. I thought they really went back and forth. And Zhang Weili, she showed obviously that she's the champion, but I don't think we should have disrespected Carla at all.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, she's a champion. You should always give those guys respect, gals respect. She did her thing though. Like that early, like I said, that grappling exchange, she kind of had her in like a little bulldog choke and kind of threw her down and started getting something off. But then Weili, she's just too strong. She got Francis like it ain't nothing. Ain't much. Too many 115-pound females there's not much they can really do with it.
I'm gonna be honest. You go back and look at my picks that I posted in the NFC community. I said she was going to sub her. Did not know the round, but I put down there she was going to sub her out. And Brett, I kid you not, was like, all right, I'll give you credit on that, man. I get it. Carla Esparza is a champion. But it's something about that Weili, man. She's a different animal. Like,
I thought the way she locked in that submission where she had her arm locked between her legs. Like, again, I don't see stuff like that very frequently.
Not at all.
You see stuff from like people like Valentina Shevchenko. I've seen her get people in crucifixes. But for her to lock that girl's arm in there and then secure the choke, that was beautiful to me.
I've never even seen any black belts training do that. Crucifix with a rear naked choke at damn near the same time. That's pretty impressive. Like, I think, in my opinion, she's kind of like the Amanda Nunes of that weight class right there.
That's bullshit. Thug Rose. Come on now.
Thug Rose. That's what
I love me some Rose, man, but
Thug Rose.
Weili don't be playing, man. She don't be playing.
I mean, they're gonna have to see each other again. I wanted to shine just a little bit of light on that fight, man, before we got to what they like to call the people's main event, the Poirier versus Chandler fight. Before we talk about the actual fight, going into the fight, who did you have?
I had Dustin, truly.
Dustin. It's three people in the UFC I will never bet against. Derek Lewis, Derek Brunson, Dustin, good old Poirier.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier is top three. He's top three in my mind. I love his attitude. I love like genuine people. I don't ever feel like he's trying to sell a fight. He'll kick it straight. I'm somebody that watches all MMA media. Like fight week, I'm watching all interviews. I'm listening to who's interviewing who. Dustin Poirier leaves no fat on the bone. You know what I'm saying? He's going to answer a question directly and leave it there. He's not going to give you anything more, anything less. But I just like him just as a man. I love the way that he represents his family, his daughter, his wife. And he's a hell of a fighter. So going in, I was really rooting for him. I feel like Michael Chandler is like that corporate company man. He's going to try to say everything. He's like that. He's like the face of the franchise type guy. He's like an NFL quarterback. He's saying stuff that just we all think sounds good, but we all know it's kind of like maybe you're not being as genuine. So I was definitely rooting for Dustin Poirier. Now, how did that fight play out in your opinion?
Just as it should have. I knew going to that fight, they were not going to leave out of that cage without being bloodied up and beaten up and battered. I mean, that's like asking, is the sun going to shine every day? It is.
Well, not if you're in front of us. Not if you're in front of me, it ain't sign.
Hey, you have a point there. But, I mean, you look at Dustin Poirier and what he's done over his career, like, go back to his Fightville documentary, and his mom was telling you, when he was a kid, he was going out to the kids in the trailer park, knocking on the door, saying, hey, let's fight. Like, he's going to bring that from a childhood, just constantly, day in, day out, and then he brings that to a fight. I can't bet against him. I don't care if he was fighting, John Jones. I'm still gonna put my money on Dustin Poirier. Just being honest, that's just my take on it. You can look at me sideways all you want, but I'm a huge Dustin Poirier fan, man.
Respect.
I feel like
What-
we've seen a lot of and I'm sorry, David. I feel like we've seen a lot of.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got it.
I was just ask DJ his opinion because Larry stated his, but DJ didn't chime in.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna get beat up. I had the kind of idea that if it was ending in the first round, Michael Chandler was definitely winning. But if it went past that, it was over. And I ain't gonna lie, like I was surprised when Michael Chandler came out and won the second round, and he used his wrestling. Like he has probably the best wrestling in 155 outside of Islam and those Dagestani boys. And he doesn't use it though. He falls in love with his hands and his power, and he's a small, short, compact guy. He can pack a punch, but his wrestling is beautiful. Like when you see him like roll with Kamaru and those kind of guys, like you see it, like he has that potential to be a champion if he uses it. But he just falls in love with his hands and he wants to knock people out. And I mean, he sells fights, but he pays for it. And yeah, I kind of figured if it went on later than that, I didn't see him getting choked out by Dustin, but I did see him getting beat up, at least knocked out or pointed up.
Am I the only one that thought that I hate to use this when I talk about a professional fighter and I'm not in the cage, but am I the only one that felt that he quit?
No,
I didn't see him quit.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you my giveaway. In the third round, he tried to take Poirier down. It was a transition. It was a tassel, and then Poirier got his back. Chandler looked at the clock and saw that there was 3+ minutes left, and he was breathing really, really, really hard. And we knew that he was tired after the first round. I mean, he got beat up in the first round. That second round, yeah, he was landing a little damage on top, but he was still really, really tired. When that third round came and Poirier got the position, it just seemed like when I saw him look at the clock and I was like, oh, he's done. And then literally not even a minute later, the fight was over. That's how I saw it. What did y'all see?
I didn't see him look at the clock, but I was probably too far away to see him look at the clock. I mean, I just saw him. Maybe he did get defeated and I just couldn't see it. But by body language, when he stood up the third round, he was bouncing around, hopping around, and maybe that could be, Fugazi. But I think he just got beat by a better all-around fighter. I think that's just kind of what it was. And I ain't gonna say he quit because I ain't gonna be that guy, but he definitely, I know what I
hate to be that guy. Be that guy, but like when I was watching it live, I literally saw him look at the clock when Dustin was around his back. And he saw it was 3 minutes, and he was breathing really, really hard. So it was like, and I'm sure y'all listen to Uncle Chael, Chael Sonnen, and Chael's like, the rear naked choke is the universal, like, get me up out of here. I'm gonna leave it at that. I think Chandler should fight Gamrot next.
I think that's a fun fight. Somebody's dying in that fight.
What do you think?
I can see that.
I would like to see Poirier go against Beneil.
Yeah, I can see that because they're giving Islam and Volk, they're giving them that fight. So I can see that. If you want to keep Beneil busy, but does he take that fight though? Because that's a dangerous fight.
I think with listening to his post fight, I think he is comfortable with waiting until that is resolved with them two for that 55 belt, and then making his claim to be the next one out there. I mean, got to think, he's been at it for a minute. I don't know if y'all listened to the post-fight interview. He kind of hinted, in my opinion, that, he's got like maybe a couple more in him. I don't think he wants to go out there and take any more unnecessary damage. Beneil Dariush is a great fighter, don't get me wrong, but that's not a big money fight for Dustin Poirier like it would be for that title fight, whether it's Volkanovski coming up to 55 to defend that belt if he wins it, or sitting there with Islam. But, just my opinion.
I did watch a piece of the post-fight interview backstage, the organized UFC one, and he did seem disappointed that Nate Diaz has left the UFC because he said, that was one fight I wanted. We had it scheduled twice. So it's weird seeing the Nate Diaz effect that would be a huge payday for Dustin Poirier, but now it's no longer the case because Dustin's still signed with UFC, and Nate Diaz, no telling where he's going to land up. But, it's weird how those things turn out.
Yeah, that man owns his own hot sauce company. He's big money. He's not focused on trying to climb that ladder no more, in my opinion. He's just, hey, I'm right here at that top rung. Give me that belt. Let me handle that. Maybe one or two more title defenses. If not, that's it. Rise off to the sunset.
And I also want to mention, I'm glad you guys are both in gyms with headphones and microphones. It's so much easier to talk to you guys than the Doug Ushers of the world that call us on their cell phone from a dark Texaco station in the middle of nowhere.
You're going to get enough of talking about Doug Usher, man.
I love Doug Usher. I love Doug Usher. He lets me talk shit about him, and he's never smiled in 20 years. So
man, I talked to Doug like 2 weeks ago, and he called me, and I could hear him driving in the background like, all right, he does not have on headphones. So, yeah, I get where you're going.
He's not the most technological guy at all.
Let me ask y'all this, man. What are some fights that you would like to see in the NFC?
Ooh, man. All right, I'm gonna give you one off the top. I'm gonna tell y'all this, whether he wants me to say it or not. My boy Che Johnson is the 85 top champ. Wants to go down to 70 and take that belt. So anybody that's out there and willing, Che Johnson wants that 70 belt. Champ. Let's make it happen.
He just lost a lot of weight to get to 185. Do you think he can go to 170?
He can. Che actually lost all that weight over time, man. He just got a new job, so about a year or so. So, he's outside more often working. So that's how it naturally just came off of him. But, for the most part, man, Che can make 70. He can make 70. You just got to plan it out right.
Kickboxing or MMA?
Kickboxing. Che does not grapple.
I just want to double check.
I got a couple in mind. I want to see that dude Trace Harper. He's a monster. I want to see him go get that belt. I just, I sparred with him like one time, and I was just like, yeah, he's every bit of what he says he is, especially on the feet, because I'm a Thai guy. So on the ground, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna talk about what happened there. But like on the feet, he is that guy. Like he is solid everywhere, and I want to see him go get that belt. So if he's listening, I'm rooting for him to go get that belt. And then these two that they're always beefing. Every time I'm in the NFC community page, Reese Watkins and
you took it out my mouth.
Man, those two right there. I'm like, oh, let's get this over. I will buy 2 tickets to that fight.
Let that be
see
a headline for one of Jess's shows. Please let that be a headline for Jess's show.
Well, I believe Reese Watkins is a professional now, if I'm not mistaken.
I haven't seen Reese fight. I have not seen Reese fight pro yet.
No, he's still amateur right now.
Aha, so
Let's
we can
go.
make that happen.
Please, for
If
Christmas.
boy wants to go ahead and get that pro belt. I'm sorry, that pro belt. Make it happen.
I would like to see Xavier work on his gas tank just a little bit more and get a couple more fights before I see him fight.
He has a lot of muscle, no cardio. In my
I want to, because let's be real. Reese Watkins is one of the best fighters in the promotion. All around fighters, like he's a double champ in the promotion. He has 2 belts, if I'm not mistaken. He's fought everybody. He's fought big boys. He's fought round boys. He's fought everybody. And I feel like Xavier still needs a little bit more time. Yes, for entertainment purposes, yeah, and they do go back and forth at each other. But I've seen Xavier's last 4 fights, 3 fights. I feel like he still needs a little bit more time to compete fully competitive.
So the interesting thing, Xavier is fighting on our January 20th show at Monday Night Brewing. We haven't mentioned it yet, but he is fighting undefeated 3-0 Ronald Humphreys for the NFC Welterweight Championship. Ronald being from ATT 3-0 versus Xavier Horton for the title belt.
Man, he got to fight all the ATT guys.
Humphreys is a stud, too. Humphreys is a stud.
We just saw him fight in Chattanooga a couple weeks ago, and he amazed us. So Xavier Horton versus Ronald Humphreys for the championship. If Reese Watkins wants, he can either call out the winner or call out Xavier Horton after that. But Xavier will be booked January 20th on our show. So
I just think we're in this fight business, and we are in the one business where if you have beef with somebody, you can punch them in the face. And so my thing is like, I don't personally know either one of them, but like, I follow, and one's a big scary dude, the other one's a nice technical striker, and I'm just like, for entertainment purposes, probably a little petty and messy. I just want to see it. I want to see it take place in the cage. I want both of them to get paid and go do great things, but you know what I'm saying? I would love to see that.
And Reese Watkins is very entertaining in the cage too. If I do say so myself, when you watch him compete, he's not just fighting; he's also entertaining as well. So shout out to Reese.
Reese has earned that, man. When he was with us at X3, I remember I walked into our Midtown location once, and we had sparring. I think it was like a Friday or a Saturday morning, and I'm just looking around for people to go with. Reese is there. Never met this guy a day in my life, and Reese is over there giving me legit work. And I talked to Nate afterwards. I was like, damn, man, where my man at? Where he trained? He's like, bro, he's like 15 or 16. Like, stop playing, bro. He's a teenager? So I'm gonna tell you, man, Reese, legit. So hey,
For
if
sure.
we're gonna make that happen, Xavier, I don't know you, but hey, bro, be on your A game with that. Cause Reese ain't nobody just talking shit to you just to talk shit. That dude's really with it.
Hey, Larry, when you were talking about Che Johnson fighting for 170 bout, I just looked online. So the 170 amateur Muay Thai champ is Jonathan Freeman.
Yeah, I
He's a
know
dog,
now.
bro. He's a dog. He's
Well,
a dog.
we all train together, so we all cool. That couldn't happen, but I know John's got some things going on right now.
Yeah,
But
I didn't want to mention it. I guess you've seen the
yeah,
same Facebook posts I
yeah.
have.
If I
So,
hope that ain't true, and I hope he comes, gets over that quick. But
yeah.
if not, and that belt has to be vacated, hey, Che is down for 70. He's also down to run 85 back with Steve. Shout out to Steve and all of his teammates over there. For just accepting the fight and making that happen, man.
Talking about fights I want to see made, I really like Cameron Burton. I like the way that this guy keeps fighting and he's fighting up. He fought up to fight Seth Haas. Seth Haas is one of my favorite fighters in the promotion too. I just like when he's a fighter's fighter. Like, I'm not a fighter, but he's an announcer's fighter. I like watching my man fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, he comes with it. And for Cameron Burton to come up in weight and arguably win that fight, I know that was a draw, but he bought the fight to Seth Haas, a weight class above. I want to see whatever Cameron Burton has in store coming up.
Yeah, he's a dog, man. I've been live for a couple of his fights and just technical, beautiful Thai. Like I can't say nothing but good things about watching him fight. Like, respect.
DJ, excuse me for not looking up on the sheet, but what weight are you and what's your record now?
So I've only fought at like 165 and 170. I walk around at that, so like I've never really cut weight. I think coming up we're gonna try to start cutting weight, getting down to possibly 155. I'm 2-1 right now. But yeah, we just we're having fun with it. That's what we're doing.
You got any names in mind?
Nah, I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't got no names in mind. I'm just working, just working.
DJ, where you from, bro? You got a real country accent.
I'm from Jackson. I'm from Jackson, Georgia, bro. Slow Villa. Yeah.
Larry, you was thinking
Is
it
bad,
too. Larry.
bro?
I know where he's from. It's just the fact you call my man country on the web.
Hey, man.
It's love. You know it's love.
Yeah, hey, you already. Hey, if you want some fried chicken, come where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? We got you.
I
Yeah,
got.
I ain't gonna lie. Jackson is like a small town, man. I don't know if you ever been there, Julian, but the population is just like you stay for dinner, bro. Like, real
Yeah,
talk,
for sure.
man. It's not a lot to do down there, man.
Yeah. Y'all watch Stranger Things?
Mhm.
Nobody watch Stranger Things? All right, cool. We out of the group chat. Understood.
I know because of my mom, they film a lot down there, though.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, they film.
Would I be welcome to come train?
Of course. Always. If you follow me back on Instagram, yeah, for sure.
I'm doing it right now, man. Let me do it right now, bro.
In the swing of
I ain't
the-
follow you back on the ground.
Nah, bro, it's all good. Nothing personal, bro. I know I ain't.
You know it
famous
ain't
shit.
nothing personal, bro. DJ Ogletree. Let me see.
So I'm going to be the jackass that turns this into a somber mood. Larry, you traveled a lot of UFCs. You know a lot of the guys. Did you ever know Anthony Johnson out there?
I know who Rumble is. I've never met him, unfortunately. I wish I had that opportunity. Derek trained with him down there in South Florida. The times I've been down there to train at Henry Hill's gym, unfortunately, he wasn't there. But definitely has hurt my heart to see the Rumble pass yesterday, man. That caught me by surprise. Just
Yeah,
way
yeah.
off
I guess it
guard.
was. They had been saying he was sick for about a year now. I just didn't know if you had ever met him in your travels or training out there.
Nah, but I did have to go down to Waycross, Georgia, down there near the Florida line, and I actually stopped to get gas and something to eat over there in Dublin, and was just so happened to remember that's where he was from. Like, all right, this is pretty cool little town. It's kind of like Jackson, but not more past that. But yeah, they good time. But back to what Julian was saying about fights I want to see. Um, I don't want to see these two fight because I think they train together, but I really would like to see my boy and my ex-teammate Nathan Rivera hop back up in there because I'm not gonna lie, I know Nathan can crack, but I was not expecting him to crack old boy with 16 seconds in the clock. And I would like to see another guy that's from the great state of North Carolina like myself, Miles Neal get back in there because I like watching him fight. Like that man, he brings it. Like nothing to be said else about Miles, man. I like watching him fight.
Interesting. I've only seen Miles fight one time, which was last time. But you know what? Miles stood out to me because, again, he was an entertainer. And I feel like that's really important, like when it comes to just any fight promotion. Just like, yo, give us as a viewer, because look, I might be the announcer, but I'm still a viewer. I want to be entertained. But he was very entertaining. His walkout was entertaining. You know, even like when I was announcing his name, like he was dancing, like he was like, yeah, you know, I like that. And like I feel like, yes, I understand this is a lot of times this is amateur local fighting. But I feel like people should think about that. Just think about also just being entertaining. That's why when I'm on the pod, I ask people like, what are you gonna walk out to? Cause like their walkout song is important to me. Cause like I be in the cage like bopping too, and like that makes a difference. Like little things like that, like it gets people to remember you. And like Miles Neal, he had that little bit of a factor that I was like, I remember that guy. So yeah, I would like to see Nathan fight a lot of people. I mean, at 155, there's a lot of fights to be had at 155 in the NFC.
Yeah, I can see him with that belt.
I want to see Nathan fight my boy Ryan Kimbrough, or Trace Harper,
Ooh, I like both of those. I like both of those. I like both of those.
Where are you taking us, Larry?
I'm just in the office.
Are you the only one in the office?
Nah, it's a bunch of other people. I just gotta put myself in another office. Hold on.
You got the little baby Kimbo Slice necklace going there, the starter kit.
You want to know what's funny? I'm gonna tell you a true story. This is a necklace and a bracelet because the necklace would not fit around my giant neck.
Oh wow!
It's two. I kid you not.
DJ, how soon can we see you get back in the gym? I mean, get back in the ring. In the ring. In the
January, like I said, for Warren Thompson's new fight promotion, I'll be in there in January. Then after that, we'll see. I don't know. My mom wants me to get back into school, so she's been badgering me about that. And after my fight in July, I told her, I was like, all right, I'm cool. I'm going back to school in the fall. Then I took a fight, and then, you know what I'm saying, kind of been like, sorry, Mom. But yeah, I enjoy training so much, so it's like always just easier just to step into a fight because I live in the gym. And so I don't know how soon. I can't give you a guaranteed date, but soon. I want to stay active for sure.
How old are you, DJ?
I'm 23. About to turn 24 in 2 days, Wednesday.
Yo, happy birthday, man. You got anything planned?
Nah, go to work, come to the gym, go home.
Where do you
just went to Madison Square Garden for the UFC. That was his birthday party.
That was before the birthday, David. Come on now.
That's a lot of money. And in my Jewish tradition, if you spend a lot of money, you don't come back and spend a lot more money. That's how us Jews do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Kanye.
Yeah, that where it is. I'm having to be the Kyrie Irving this week.
Hey man, I will say this to you, DJ. Go back to school though, man. I know you may not want to, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm 36, right? Mm-hmm. So I moved from North Carolina to here 10 years ago, put school on hold, and literally got into the whole fight thing, and I let that consume me. And my mom really wanted to see that. My granddad really wanted to see that. My grandma, my aunts, my whole family. So if your mom feels it's important to her, if you love her, just give it a shot. You ain't got to go, take a whole bunch of classes. Just take one or two, do it online, but at least give her, her wish a thought. I went back in January, graduated in May. All I needed was one class. It took two to push myself, end up making the dean's list. But hey, man, you never know what you can do until you do it. Just like me hopping in with this whole fight thing, man. Just never know what you can do till you do it. But definitely take her up on that.
For sure. I appreciate that, big dog.
Already, like DJ, what do you like to do outside of fighting, man? Like, is there anything that piques your interest? Like, I like journalism. Like, I like to talk to people. Like, what's with you?
No. So actually, in high school, bro, I used to always say I was gonna be a broadcast journalist. That's what I wanted to do. I was trying to go to school for it. And I got an associate's degree already. But it's man, I like to run. I really like dealing with like teenagers though, like the youth, because I see a lot of myself in them. And so I just want to be somebody that's motivating, because we don't have too many people from Jackson that's like somebody they can look up to, somebody that is like that's a standout athlete or something like that. We don't really have much of that out here. And so like I see a lot of kids, they're just bored out here and they want something to do. And the only people to look up to are the OGs, or the I don't know what you want to call them nowadays, but like, you know what I'm saying? But like, they'll get out here and they'll start shooting at each other and stuff like that. And it's like, we had people riding through the square like a year and a half ago, like just shooting for no reason. They're kids. They're all like 17, 16. Like, they shouldn't even have guns. And it's like, I see a lot of that here. And that's just, I want to speak into that and change that, give them an outlet, whether it be fighting or going to school or something, just to, I don't know. I want to get a platform to be able to motivate these kids and inspire these kids to do better, because right now, I feel like my community has a lot of potential, and it's just not living up to it.
Hey, well, if nobody believes in you, bro, I believe in you, man. Every time, bro, DJ, every time I run up on you, man, it's always good love and good energy, man. So, like, bro, I respect you. And no matter what you're trying to do, bro, I'm confident that you're going to do it, man. I look forward to the next time you step into the cage.
Yes, sir.
Just like Larry said, man, if you do have that opportunity, man, to get back, just get back, man, because you don't never know what kind of opportunity that'll open up. A lot of times it's not about, like, the actual schooling. It's about the opportunities and the people that you meet while you're in school that'll get you to that next level, bro, whatever you're trying to do, man. Respect.
I appreciate that, for sure.
Gentlemen, before we have you part ways, man, final thoughts, man. What do you want to leave the NFC community here on NFC Now?
Go ahead, DJ.
Hey, great, man. Go do what y'all do. Chase your dreams. Always do something that fulfills you. I see everybody working. I'm so proud of Georgia MMA and where it's going. I just want to see it get better, you know what I'm saying? And so I want to see us on that world stage where we're selling out Madison Square Garden, not New Zealand and anybody from anywhere else. I want to see Georgia at the, at the peak, you know what I'm saying, at the top. And I think we have a potential to do that. Like, I think if we all get together and grind. I see a lot of, fractures and the, beefs and all of that. We ain't got to beef with each other all the time, man. We can do that, sell the money, sell the shows here. But I think we have a lot of potential here in Georgia if we all just, work together and grind to get to the top. I see a lot. I see a lot for us.
All right, so I'm a firm believer in giving people their flowers. So first, let me say one thing to Julian. You stepped up for Jose, and man, you were doing a phenomenal job out there, bro, and much respect. You're like the light-skinned Bruce Buffer in my book right there.
Yes,
sir. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. And Dave, man, thank you for this opportunity of putting the NFC out here. We just got a commission back in North Carolina, and they won't let those guys have fights for at least a year until they can get everything finalized and set in place. And, you have my boy on the show with me back in September with David, Baby Hope. Me and David are from the same city. We don't have a lot of guys in North Carolina, especially in my area, that are on other shows other than trying to get into the NFC. I mean, I go home, I get a lot of those guys asking, hey, what can I do to get on? How can I get this? How can I get that? Like, hey, bro, I'm telling you right now on, on the podcast, those dudes can sleep in my house if they have to, just to get a chance to fight on your card, man. Like, it's not a problem, bro. I got 2 bedrooms, man. They can take one of them. Whatever we can do to help my guys get on there. Tresean, is from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm from Wilmington. That's an hour away from each other. Same story he got. I got a lot of friends back home with the same type of story that's just trying to make it as well, man. But, you got that opportunity of putting guys on from North, South Carolina, Tennessee, Bama, Georgia, Florida. Like, we appreciate it, man. And I just want to say thank you for that. Definitely helped me out as well, because, hell, I done fought. I made some money on your cards. I done put some of my guys on your card. True fact, I was coaching at the UFC gym when that gym was trash. And then after
I remember that.
me being there, man, I turned that place around with the help of the others that were there, and that place was jumping. So, hey, thank you for that. But, if I say anything, man, to these guys out here, if you really want to be in this fight game, do it if you love it. Don't just be out there just getting your ass kicked just to get your ass kicked, man. It's not worth it, bro. Like, just only do this shit if you love it. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, and when you were just talking about North Carolina a minute ago, it'll probably, I can't talk too much because it's probably early, but you see I formed alliances with Jared Williams over at Conflict MMA, Mitchell in Florida, the better looking, more outgoing Dave Oblis in Florida, Mitchell, and then Tim Loy and Jeff Hobbs at Area. So I talked to Jared Williams today, and we were actually talking about North Carolina, how it will become legal in about a year or so. I've talked to Kenny Letts that used to run Fight Lab back there, back in Charlotte in the day. So going to North Carolina, put on a show is something, we might look to do in a year. I know you're best friends with Derek Brunson over there. So I would say when I go to a new community, I talk to people in that community. I know Derek's up there, and I know some other people have been looking at North Carolina. So we'll figure out a place that's not conflicting to Derek. We'll figure out a month that's not conflicting to him. I think he's in Wilmington or something like that.
Yeah, that's where we're from.
Yeah, I don't even know the North Carolina map. I don't even know how far Wilmington and Charlotte are from one another.
4 hours.
Okay, good.
We're on
There's
the
plenty.
beach. We on the beach. We'll sell tickets on the
So
beach.
we're also looking at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I've got a venue there. We're looking at doing something next year. Again, myself, Valor, and Conflict. Our goal this year is to do 3 shows together. We did. It was also go to a real fun, scenic place for us. We failed to do that. So we do want to go to Myrtle Beach, bring our whole crews there for a weekend and maybe do something there.
Hey,
so
you
we're
say
seeing.
one thing. If you do a show in Myrtle Beach, Julian has to come out there in that all white linen like he's down there in Miami, because he looked like he plays the part, man. He looks like he plays the part. That real Miami lifestyle right there. I know.
I can do that, man. I can do
I
that.
can see that.
Hey, Larry, yo, thank you for the flowers, man. That goes a long way, man. I could speak for David too, man. We appreciate that level of love, man, and we just appreciate y'all for being a part of the NFC community, man. And even want to take your time out on a Monday evening to come talk to us about some fights, about the fight community, and about what we do here, man. Because look, man, it is a commitment of time and effort, but you know what? We love to do it. Like the same passion that you have for getting out there to the gym and competing is the same passion that we have for like actually getting out here and telling y'all stories, man. So. Thank y'all, man. We look forward to seeing you at the next NFC event.
Yes, sir.
And y'all keep doing what y'all do. We look forward to having y'all on the pod next time y'all have a fight coming up too.
For sure.
Hey, man, I'm trying to get back in there myself. I got a couple people in mind. Also, tell Danielle Wynn to stop talking trash to me, man. She thinks she can see me with the hands, but, you know, I ain't going to hurt that girl like that.
Don't do it like that, man. Come on now. It's 2022. You can't talk nothing like that. That might get you canceled, brother.
Man,
Don't do
Danielle
that.
says she going to knock me out every time I see her and elbow me. Like, all right, man, whatever. Girl.
Is she really saying that, or is she kidding? I don't know.
I don't even know, man. Just talk
She
to me.
might
She's
like
like
you.
100 pounds, man.
Damn, I haven't
She's
seen that.
Cool, man. I mess with Danielle all the time, man. It's just like talking trash to her, though.
Okay.
That's my homie.
It's all love, gentlemen. Thank y'all for joining us here on NFC Now.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Peace.
Peace. That was dope. Having some folk come on just to kind of chop it with us.
Yeah. What are people saying now about best friends? I think we just made 2 best friends. I asked them, have you guys ever met each other and talked? They said no, but they became best friends all of a sudden.
I love the way that they both talked about, like, my bad. I'm looking at the comments too as I'm talking to you. I love the way that, like, Larry was giving DJ like some game. He was like, look, I'm 37, man. Like, go back to school if you can. I love that part of it. Like, I
You
think
just
that's-
added a year. He said he's 36.
Okay, well,
You
he
aged
said
him.
I'm 36, but I still feel like that's so important for like us as a community. Like, yes, we might fight each other, we might do X, Y, and Z, but like it's bigger than just the fights. So that was something that stood out to me, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is the coolest part of the sport. And I think, we just did make 2 guys into BFFs. So, yeah, Larry and DJ never met each other. Now, they were even pointing to each other, giving each other time because they knew one was about to answer the question. So we step over each other more than they stepped over each other on the microphone. So
Slick.
I thought that was funny.
That was actually pretty good, man. And, you know, it's all love. I guess I'm just eager sometimes, man. We'll continue to work on our timing, man. But I still feel like I feel like the show is getting better and better. And I love the way people are eager to be a part of the show. And I think they said something very important. I asked them earlier what we can do to make the pod better. They just said, just keep it going.
Keep going. Yeah. I think that's what I said to you from the beginning. Everyone else says they want to start things, especially in the fight community. It's a very tight knit group. There's not a lot of money you're going to make in the fight community until this grows big. But I think when we talked about, I told you this needs to stay consistent. It's going to take a week or 2. It might take 6 weeks. It might take 8 weeks, but people are going to get behind this, and they have. I mean, Bimmy Sola just commented online, I need to get on this podcast. So yeah, I get people bugging us all the time, and I've even seen podcasts be in Georgia, and they suck. They were no good. They were complete and utter trash. We've done a pretty damn good job. So yeah.
I'm gonna put it out there. My boy Bimmy Sola is always welcome on the NFC podcast. I like Bimmy. I like Bimmy. Every time I see Bimmy, I'm like, yo, what's up, Bimmy? Bimmy fresh to death, like $1 million. He be training hard. He be training with my man Sadiq Yusuf, super Sadiq. Trains with a lot of guys locally. That's my guy. And he's always welcome on the pod. And yes, I feel like our consistency is what separated us. And I feel like the community is behind it. I think it's always dope when we're at the shows when people are like, yo, I want to get on the pod. Yo, I'm trying to be on the pod. And listen, man, I'm excited to have y'all on the pod, man. I'm happy that we were able to get my man Brantley Furr on because we've been talking for a while about getting him on here, man. But Brantley was I thought he was an awesome guest, and he was just real. And I hope that y'all aren't nervous when y'all get on the pod, man, because we're just people too. We're just over here trying to have a dialogue with you.
And I think it's gonna be more fun as we start taking it places. You know, we haven't talked formally about it, but we have had ideas of doing a podcast at a weigh-in, doing a podcast the night of the fight as the fighters arrive. We've had ideas about maybe going to the Battery and doing it before the UFC or something like that. So we're getting more into discussions now. And I think when we get people, when we kind of make it almost like a studio, like a College Game Day for Sports Center when they go out to a football game, I think if we start doing a couple ideas like that here and there, I think we'll even pick up a little more traction out there and make it super fun.
I think that'll be a great idea, man. I think first things first, you and I have to be able to pod in the same room without there not being any feedback.
Well, we might be doing a podcast in front of 500 people at the Battery, so I'm sure we'll figure out some kind of way to do it.
Oh,
but,
are you leaking information again?
Not leaking. I'm just saying.
Are we breaking news?
I'm just saying some goals we have. These are some goals. Goals are maybe to do something at the weigh-in. Goals are maybe to do something pre-fight, maybe with our commentators there, Zach, Lawson, and Jim. Maybe to do before the UFC fight tomorrow. I think we're going to keep doing it every Monday night, but I think when we add on these things, it might get super fun.
I think it might be dope for us to even like go to a gym. I think you just mentioned that, but like go to a gym and like do a pod at a gym, and just have like the gym come through and like some of the fighters that work at the gym or some of the coaches that from the gym. And, we show all gyms love because, we don't discriminate here on NFC Now. We show all gyms love. You see David got the X3 Sports gear on. We had ATT on a lot today. And listen, if y'all have any gear, I'm a fan. I support a hustler. I would love to have like NFC gear. I love when fighters come out with their gear. Yeah. Y'all like save me a shirt. Get me a shirt. Like, yo, get us a shirt. I'll rock it. I'll rock it proudly because when I see y'all, I'm like, I want to support your hustle. So anybody that has any shirts, any merch, I'll rock it. I'll rock it loud and proud, man, because we support a hustler here in the NFC community.
You see, I just put on my buddy Eric Bullock with his Phenomenal Finds ATL. He watches the show every week religiously. I told him I have to call him back after this show. I told him if I'm not too inundated with fans after this, I would call him back about something we got to talk about. But if you're looking for the Cobra Kai cage mat, you can go to Phenomenal Finds ATL. I think it's $5,000. Go get yourself the one and only Cobra Kai cage mat that has ever been out there on Phenomenal Finds ATL on what's that called? eBay.
That's what's up. Now we can definitely have Eric Bullock on. Eric Bullock is an OG of the NFC community, man. I would love to talk to Eric. And then there's a lot of other people I'd love to talk to, especially during this off season that we have right now going on in the NFC. Calling Charlene Dixon to the pod. Charlene Dixon, I know you hear us. We would love to have you on the pod. Kimberly Sargent, would love to have her on. Jenny Childress, we'd love to have her on the pod. Like the people that are, that make the show go on. Dang, she said no. Is that her that just said no? That just hit us with the no?
Yeah, that's Charlene Dixon that hit us with the no.
She's gonna come on. She's gonna.
We can influence her. When we did the original podcast with Jose, she came on, so I think we can convince her to come on to this one as well.
And this is something that, like, even me in my position, I don't know everything that Charlene does, and I know she holds a very, very important position. It's just like I just don't know what that looks like. I know she's all over the place, and one thing I know about Charlene, she ready to fight somebody. She ready to turn up. She ready to cut somebody out on a pin drop. But I know she does so many things to just to make the show go. I just don't know that, and I want to know,
Yeah, I can't disagree. I'd like to know as well. I've actually thought about for a training session myself, her and Jesse, because we're talking on Facebook 24 hours a day with each other. But the next time we meet, I actually was a training session because during December, as of many goals to change up, I was gonna have us write down like what we do during a show because sometimes I don't even know what Jesse and Charlene are doing. Kind of my two right hands. What are the problems that they have on fight night? What can we do to make it easier for them? What do they view as their responsibilities? So I guess, Charlene, if you're listening, that's kind of one goal I wanted me, you, and Jesse to do. And even Addison Graves, now that we have Addison helping out at all the shows, I don't think we've used him to his complete, that we can utilize him. He's an extremely intelligent guy and quick thinking. What are the things that we do that we can help each other with during the 8 hours that we're there or whatever.
Absolutely. Not only just to like help each other, man, but just so like the NFC community truly understands like the value that that multiple people bring to this organization in order to make this thing shake. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I feel like this is the time to give David Oblas his flowers. David Oblas, he takes care of everything behind the scenes. Like right now, I just sit up here and I just talk. You know what I'm saying? I just set up my microphone, got the nice lights and everything, and I just talk. But during the pod, David is pulling up things. He's bringing people in. He's doing X, Y, and Z. During the week, David is calling me, hey, what's up? He's sending emails. David makes these things possible, man. So shout out to you, Dave. Appreciate you.
I send the emails. You do the phone calls. I'm more. I talk to like 3 people a day at best, maybe on the phone, and one of them's usually you when you call each day. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm more of a text or email guy. I guess that's the way.
I'm a phone call guy all day.
Yeah.
Like I'll read a text or I'll read an email, but like in order for me to like truly understand what's going on, we got to get on the phone.
Yeah.
So it's like
I don't disagree. I 100% agree. And when it is time for me to call people, I do. It's sometimes easier to do things, but I always try to be aware that other people have full-time jobs and stuff like that. You know, I don't know what you do full-time. I don't know what Jen Lee's doing all day long. I don't know where the next person is. So I know it's sometimes easier to just text and, say, hey, when are you available? When you're available, give me a ring.
So everybody's clear. Just so everybody's clear, I'm a full-time hustler.
I know.
That's why I always say support a hustler, because we full-time hustling around here, man. It's a hustle to put on these shows every Monday, and we appreciate each and every last single one of you for tuning in to NFC Now. As Larry Greene and DJ Ogletree said, just keep going. We will be here each and every Monday evening at 7 p.m. Shop.
And it's funny, Charlene just said David's always working on the next thing. I think that's kind of true. Like I do try to plan out like 2 to 3 months ahead of time so we can keep the show running. When you keep asking me when the awards banquet is, I don't know yet because District hasn't returned my call. And that's our number one place. So, and I haven't even talked to, every time I have ideas, I run to my Charlene and Jesse and say, how incredibly stupid is this? And should we pursue it at all? And Charlene, I do need to call you about the Boswell. So the Boswell ESPN thing, I believe, is going to be a go for that Friday, December 2nd, I think it is. I was going to call
Can Charlene come on now?
If she clicks the link and wants to, that's up to her. How do we even get
I'm just going to throw it out there. You miss 100% of shots you don't take. It seems like she's like on, she's typing, she's real active.
Let me guess,
her hair isn't done. She isn't ready. She's not in the well-lit area.
Yesterday with Michael Jordan. So, was it Michael Jordan that said that? Because I was thinking about that with a girl yesterday, actually. You miss 100% of shots you don't take.
I thought that was Will Smith.
It might have been. I saw the quote and I saw a photo of Michael Jordan, so I don't know if he's with the one.
She said send the link. Send the link.
Send the link. All right, give me 1 second.
Okay, we caught her on a good day.
Let's see how to do this. Send the link.
My dad is leaving. My dad's been on my side the whole time watching the potties out of here. Love you, Dad. Ray Virgin. Shout out to all the dads out there, man.
Did you post the link also?
No.
Okay, because I just posted and it shows up as NFC Fight Night and shows up as Jillian Vernon.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFC Now. This is our 9th show.
She's trying to sound like Khabib right there when she says send the link, kind of like send the location.
Send the contract. Send the location.
Depending on what she's wearing, we'll see if our viewership of men goes up in a minute or not.
Hopefully she has a bonnet on.
I don't know what that is.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still tuning in, welcome to NFC Now. This is show number 9. I am Julian Virgin. This is David Oblas over there. That's David Oblas over there. She said she doesn't see the link. We've had a great show thus far. We had Tresean, Mr. Vicious Gore on. He talked about his journey. He talked about his faith. He talked about his time in the UFC, training with different gyms, the Limas, training with Saif Saud. His $50,000 bonus. We had on Brantley Furr, Coach Brantley Furr, over there at ATT Lima. He talked about just being just a really dope trainer and just investing back in the other fighters. He talked briefly about his career, his fighting career, how he got started in Oakboro, North Carolina. I had a really good conversation with him, man, because everybody that comes on the pod, they always talk so highly of Brantley Furr and his coaching abilities and what he does and how much he invests in them. And, Brantley, he said very clearly that, like, hey, like, my job is to be up there and to be the best like to give. He's like, yo, if you're gonna give me your all, I'm gonna give you my all. I'm gonna meet you right there with it. So really happy to have Coach Brantley Furr on. He also talked about his family, being a family man and having 2 sons. He had like, I don't know if y'all noticed, yo, Coach Brantley Furr has some really fire tattoos, like really, really dope tattoos. So shout out to Coach Brantley Furr. We weren't able to have on Dhiego Lima. I guess we're waiting for him to get back on in due time. In due time, I know, life happens. We completely understand. NFC Now isn't the top priority, but shout out to Coach Dhiego Lima. We'll have him on sooner than later. And then we were joined by DJ Ogletree and Larry Greene as we reviewed at UFC 281 over this past weekend. David, do we have any updates with Charlene?
Yeah, so I posted the link in the comments here on the StreamYard, and I posted the link on the Facebook that she's been commenting on. So Charlene, if you click that link that I post on Facebook, it should take you in where we'll see you on our wait list on this device.
We're gonna give her a couple more minutes, man. I know we just came out on the whim to try to get her on, man, but we would love to have her on. She's probably just getting her set right, It is what it is.
Getting out of bed with her bonbons that she's had.
Yeah. Hey, if y'all are watching, y'all make sure y'all follow on Instagram at NFC Fights. If you would like to follow me at Julian_Virgin. That's Julian with an E, not an A, and Virgin as in Virgin Mary. And voila, look who we have here, people. The one, the only, Charlene. Well, hello, Charlene.
Hi, guys. You
It's
got
great
me
to
in
see you.
my pajamas. I was ready for bed.
What'd you think about the pod today?
I've been in my pajamas the
I
whole
only
time.
caught the second half. The first half, I was at the barn, but I enjoyed what I saw. David and talking about venue security, all of that. He does great with what he does.
Indeed. So, Charlene, how long have you been affiliated with the NFC and David Ogletree?
It's been 10 years, I think. I haven't been keeping track, but I think 10 years.
How did y'all meet?
So he was doing fights at Wild Bill's. Originally, I was a fan coming to his fights. Eventually, I started working for Wild Bill's and managing some of their nighttime events, and he needed help. I jumped in, I started helping him out, and at that time he was working with Amy Lynn, a lady that we all absolutely love, and Amy Lynn kind of stepped off to the side, and I tried to fill her shoes, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
So when you said you tried to fill her shoes, like what does that look like? We see you at all the fights, dressed to a T, looking pretty, making sure everybody's where they need to be, making sure the show is started when it needs to start. But like, would you please explain to us, what are your job responsibilities each and every NFC show?
So I try to just be like a liaison between everybody, between our production, lighting, athletic commission, the fighters, trainers, front door staff, the venue. I try to keep everything in order, running on time. Like production, they know how to keep things rolling on their end, but they have to be linked with the DJ and the lighting. And when we're taking intermissions, we have to be linked with the venue. And that's all stuff that I kind of fill in and do.
David?
I don't even know what I was going to ask a second ago. Give me a minute. I'll try to think of a funny question.
Oh, great.
Now, Charlene, why though? Like, is this just because like you have a passion for martial arts, or?
So the fights itself, no. I enjoy. A lot of nights I don't even get to watch the fights. I enjoy the environment. I enjoy the people. The large event that we get to put on, being able to create something from beginning to end. That's what I enjoy. Like our finished product at the end of the night, like it just makes me so happy that we were able to get through a show and have so many fans there, so many people that left excited and happy.
David,
do you think you can get
Tiffany? Go ahead. You got.
I was going to say, do you think you can get Tiffany Wable to do anything in 2023?
Okay.
Like anything, like one thing?
Very impressed with Tiffany at the last show we did at Tannery. She helped with cage setup. Me and her were carrying.
She did a little bit.
So this is another thing I do, Julian. Cage setup. we're carrying heavy panels, heavy pieces of iron and steel, and well, I work hard. I sweat. And then
And we always say when we're carrying something big, what do we always say?
I'm not gonna
Carrying big pole coming through.
But Tiffany has been working hard lately, and it made me so happy to see.
She did it at one show for like an hour.
Okay.
And she gave away a title belt in the main event. Like, she still hasn't done the NFC TikTok. I've asked her 10 times for the NFC TikTok, and she hasn't done it.
I think she thinks you're joking about the NFC TikTok.
Everyone tells me we need a TikTok.
And that 1 hour we got last week was more than we've gotten in the past 10 years. So we need to be grateful.
Precisely. Everything has a genesis now.
I think it's because she was at Chattanooga like this for 3 hours staring at her phone when she was in row one. And I've mentioned it 20 times to her asking if her neck is broken.
Yeah, well, I think it was you not being there. It took you not being there for cage setup for her to jump in and help. Maybe
I'll never come again. She'll do everything by the time I leave for good.
David, do you think it's important to have a woman involved with the NFC? Because I feel like a lot of times like as men we have a certain track mind, but like sometimes you just need a woman to like be there and just like.
I don't know. I'll be an asshole and kind of say no. It takes someone that's dedicated and hardworking, whether they're male or female or black or white or Asian or Jewish or whatever they are. I mean, I don't know if you're supposed to say that these days, but it just takes someone that's dedicated and hardworking, in my opinion, and wish I had more of them. You know, Jesse and Charlene, there's a reason we talk daily about everything, because we all have each other's backs. And I think we always come at things with 3 different opinions. And we kind of pick, I don't know, what makes 2 out of 3, I guess, and talk things through.
I want to add part of what I do on fight nights. When I came in 10 years ago or 9 years ago, David was working his butt off on fight nights, not able to really enjoy the show. And I wanted to make it to where David, he can work his butt off up until the day of the show. But when the show starts, I want him to be able to sit down, enjoy his friends that are there in the crowd, drink a beer, whatever he wants to do. And I work hard for him. He does end up still, working pretty hard on fight nights, but I try to take that responsibility off of him so he can enjoy the fruits of his labor.
And the funny thing is, the only bad thing is as things change, I don't have many friends anymore. I think that was like an old Wild Bills thing when I had tons of friends and we'd all get shit-faced and have a good time, but that doesn't really exist anymore. And it's funny, Eric Bullock just said, when someone helps set up or tear down at center stage, I'll give them props, because that was the worst venue in the world to ever set up or tear down. When people ask why you're not going back to center stage, that's another reason out of my 6,000 reasons. We would have to stand in the middle of the road on Peachtree Street as people going north or west Peachtree, block traffic at 10 in the morning as we're trying to back in the 24-foot trailer. We had to sit there and put out cones several times, almost get run over. And then when you load it in the cage, you got to go down a ramp, up a ramp. You got to position the cage wall to barely fit in. Taking it out at the end of the night was absolute utter pain in the ass. So that's why I hate center stage. And then Russ Eckerman just said, Charlene runs fight night, Homer. So.
I thought was it Homer or Homie?
Homer. Russ always comes up with nicknames for me.
Oh, okay. Now, Charlene, where are you from?
Lawrenceville. Well, I was born in Fort Lauderdale, lived down there for early childhood, and then moved to Lawrenceville.
So you've been here the whole time?
Yeah.
What else have you done? Like, were you always just in the fight game, or like, what were you doing before then?
No. So, after I had my son, I realized I was always working in like reception and, front office jobs. And I was like, that's not going to pay the bills with a kid. So I ended up teaching myself to weld, and I kind of faked it until I made it with a company, and they hired me on as a welder. And I did that for a very long time and worked at Cadillac for a while, and then switched over to Wild Bills after Cadillac. So I was in the car industry for quite a while.
Indeed. And you talked about your son. You have a son and a daughter, right?
I have 2 sons and a daughter.
You have 2 sons and a daughter. How old?
16, 13, and 5.
Word. And what do your kids mean to you?
What do
What
they
do your kids
mean
mean
to
to
me?
you?
Oh my gosh. They're absolutely everything. They're everything. And they are the most amazing kids. I enjoy spending every day with them. They're my life.
When I follow you on Instagram or not on Instagram, on Facebook, I always see you with your horses and your kids.
Yes.
Could you talk about your involvement with the animals?
So we have a nonprofit farm. We have rescue horses, goats, a pig, some cats, and 8 dogs right now. But we do lessons there, but mostly just caring for these rescues, bringing them in, getting them trained up, and turning them around and sending them off to a good home.
Is that a passion?
Yes, a passion I didn't know I had until about 2 years ago. I brought Ella to the farm for lessons, and it needed help. The farm needed help bad, and that's when I decided I needed to jump in, and I kind of dove right in there, not knowing what I was doing. But here we are 2 years later, and we're doing really good.
And here we are 10 years later with the NFC. So it seems like that's 2 examples that you've given us of you just seeing something that needed help and just jumping in. Has that always been your personality?
I didn't realize that until you just pointed it out. No, I do. I guess that's where I get good feeling from being able to help. I've done short-term foster in the past, and I do mentoring at the middle school once a week. And so I guess that just fills my cup.
Fascinating.
You need to stop posting photos of your Florida house, because when you posted Florida's a high-rise last week, I get a text from Russ. She's got another property. How much are you paying this girl? So, Russ thinks I pay you $2 million a year.
No, my money does not come from fight night.
So.
Indeed. Now, Charlene, you've been dealing with the NFC for 10 years. How has it changed in these 10 years that you've been a part of it?
Oh, well, I will say the staff that we have in place right now, I hate even calling them staff. We are so connected. It is a family. You guys are all friends. But I feel like what we have in place right now is the best that it has ever been. I hope I'm not being mean by saying that with other people that have left. But Julie and you and Jenna Lee, and then the production that we have going on, the commentators, absolutely everybody, Addison, Dennis, even my intern, everybody just fits together so well, and we get along. And I feel like we're in a good spot because of that.
Indeed.
I do agree. It has been fun seeing the people come on now that we have such good people. Like, I don't remember if you remember that guy, Adam, the production guy, that I ended up having a shit can a long time ago because he was just a piece of crap. But I think that's the only guy that I've fired and been so proud after I fired them. Usually people just quit and I don't ever have to fire them.
You won't fire
No, I
anybody.
won't. I'm not very mean, but he was the one guy, and I can say it because it's not like he ever listens to our podcast. Obviously, we haven't talked in 2 years, but he was just. I remember in between us and Spencer, I asked Spencer one time. I was like, "What does Adam do?" And he's like, "Absolutely nothing. Whatever you send me, he just makes it look like he sent it, and that's all he does." And I was like, "Okay, then he's gone."
Yeah, I was proud of you for that one because you do not fire people.
He even made me meet at his house. I think it was Labor Day or Memorial Day. He sat us there for like an 8-hour marketing meeting. It was about completely and utterly nothing. I think I called you afterwards, and I was like, "That was a waste of day of my life."
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now you talked about what has changed within the 10 years, man. Like, Charlene, what do you hope to see happen, in the near future when it comes to the NFC?
So I really enjoy the venue sizes that we're in. But of course, like everybody else, I would like to see a larger venue come along. I know we can sell them out and, give everybody a really good time, but I want to be able to pack more people in a room. And as far as the fighters go, we have such an amazing roster in Atlanta. We can put on really good fights. I want to be able to fill up a bigger space.
I could see it coming in the near future. Now, I could also see you fighting somebody too, because Charlene, and just in my short time and just observing you and just seeing you, you're not afraid to give somebody a look. You're not afraid to speak exactly what's on your mind. You're not afraid of any of that. Where does that energy come from?
Oh, I'm not sure. So, Julian, I don't know if you know, but I did. I fought when I was younger, and I grew up in the gym. So you might not. I don't know if you're familiar with George Allen. He was a ref.
Yes, George Allen. He has the salt and pepper.
Yeah, George Allen and his sons.
It's more salt than pepper now.
And Gary Brown. We also had a bongo there at the gym. So this was like 99, 2000 time. And so I just I grew up with all of them. But I have that, nobody can mess with me attitude, which it can get me in trouble, and I try not to have it, but I just don't take any lip. I don't, man or woman or whatever. It doesn't matter.
I see Eric Bullock in the comments saying, "Tell Julian about your martial arts background. Like, how far did you take it, and do you still train to this day?"
So I do not train anymore. I did just get mats from David to go ahead and put in my garage, and I'm thinking of. I've looked in the past to try to find a female around me, somebody in jiu-jitsu, to come to my house and just start teaching me basics before I actually go into a gym. So we've got the mats, I've got the gi, and it'll start eventually. But I started out boxing, kickboxing. I did Golden Gloves, Winter Wars, like small kickboxing tournaments when I was younger. I did do a Luchador Jiu-Jitsu tournament at some point in my life. I forget when that was. But I learned MMA and a little bit of Jiu-Jitsu. I was really good at boxing and kickboxing for a bit.
How old is your daughter?
5.
I'm sure she's looking up to you every day.
Yeah, she
now,
does.
what would like a 5-year-old Charlene think about the woman that's on the pod with us right now?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure. So my boys, they think the stuff I've done throughout my life is pretty cool. Ella, as long as I get her to the farm every day, she doesn't care about anything else. So I don't know. I hope she likes the person I am, and I try to make her proud.
Real talk. You probably I'm confident that you do, because I mean, just the way you carry yourself every time I see you, you just you carry yourself like the boss.
Thank you, Julian.
No, seriously, and that's why I've always wanted you to just come on here, and I've been kind of nagging you every time I see you.
I'm sitting here sweating, just so you know. Like, I'm literally sweating.
Is it that bad? Am I shaking you down like that?
No, I just get so nervous.
You are going kind of deep. You're going kind of deep, Julian.
I mean, no, I mean,
what does it mean?
Because again, most of the time when I see Charlene, we're in a working setting. Like, we're working. Yeah. It's like, okay, it's like we're handling business. Hey, what do you need me to do? What time do we start? She's like, hey, Julian, we start at 7:05. I need you to start right now. We're about to take an intermission. It's just never a time for us to like actually sit here and just get to know the boss in which I'm looking at. Because like, just like Ella looks at you, I look at you too. I'm like, we watch, we see you move, we see what's going on. We just don't see. I just don't know. I haven't had an opportunity to talk to you. And generally, she just flashed a sign at me. She said, Charlene's the best. And like, we all believe that. We just haven't been able to actually get deep on like, who the hell is Charlene,
Yeah. Well, all I am, so 29 days out of the month, I am dirty at the barn. And then that one day a month, you guys see me dressed up, and I get to try to run things.
Did generally flash any signs of you saying David's the best?
No.
She has not done that just yet. She
Generally
has not done.
Bye.
She hasn't done that just yet, but she know she loves you, man. You know she loves you. I would be remiss not to bring up my man Jose. And I know y'all worked with him for a very long time. What was your relationship like with Jose? And like, now that he is battling, he's in his own fight right now. Like, what do you want to say to him?
Are you talking to me or David?
You, Charlene.
Okay. Jose, I love Jose. And so now I do feel bad for my comment earlier when I said we have the best staff. I was including Jose in that. Like, this generation of our staff, he is included in that totally. He's fighting his own battle right now, and he's in his bubble, and that's where he needs to be. And I cannot wait for him to go through his surgery and come out the other side and be able to open up and be with the world again. I feel like he is just, spending this time with his family and doing things that need to get done, but his friends miss him. And Jose was great for us and a great team player. I enjoyed it.
And now I have to ask you about Jesse. I know y'all, David, you said earlier that, you talk to Jesse and Charlene on a daily basis. Like, what is your relationship like with Jesse, and like how do y'all communicate in order to execute shows?
So, like David said, we talk every day, all day long. Jesse and I have a huge respect for each other. His family is my family. I love his wife. I love his kids. And I really respect the way he works. He is such a hard worker. Jesse's day job, I can't tell you how many hours a week he works, but he works his butt off. And then he comes and he does NFC as soon as he clocks out, or he's on lunch. And he's an amazing person and huge asset.
I think before Jesse moved up in his company, he used to drive the forklift, the forklift in the warehouse. And he told me he'd have to go to the bathroom and act like he was taking a dump so he can return all my emails. But I guess now that he's a manager or supervisor, I don't know if he has an office or what he has that he can email us more freely during the day. I probably need to ask him. But yeah, he used to have to sneak away Russ style to the bathroom to do stuff.
Now, David, my question for you is, Charlene, she said, she met you at Wild Bills when she noticed that you had a need. Did you ever see that this relationship would be what it is today?
I don't know. I've got the worst memory in the world. And I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but I really can't remember anything. Like, my parents used to joke, if you asked me what I had for breakfast this morning, I'd have absolutely no clue what I had for breakfast. Most of the people have fights, I can't remember their names. I'm trying to remember the question you asked me 30 seconds ago. But yes, I remember when Wild Bills was going under, she was the only person that I kind of brought over that said, hey, do you want to continue doing the fights? And this was before Wild Bills went out of business. I think we were all kind of tipped off that they were about to go bankrupt or they were about to sell. And you were never at Wild Bills in the past. You don't know that much about it. But like, I kept my cage there. I kept the trailer there in the back parking lot, everything. And I knew when we did a nationally televised LFA fight, and I don't even know how much Charlene knows, but when Destiny used to write the checks back then, and it used to come from Full Throttle Entertainment, the side business at Wild Bills. And for this nationally televised fight with Mick Maynard's LFA, she wrote the checks from a completely different account that I had never even seen the name of. So I called Amy Lynn, who was at home that night. I was like, what's this new checking account? And she told me, and I was like, is there any money in there? And she said, no. And I said, hold on, you were just going to write all these fighters bad checks knowing there's not any money in there. We're not doing this. And I ordered Destiny to start writing them from the real checking account. And that night, people told me, you need to get out of here and go. You need to take the trailer, you need to take the cage, and you need to completely clean out everything because we don't think Wild Bills is going to be around any longer past this. And they were correct. And that's when we left and went to center stage. But, I knew at that point in time, she was the only one that I was going to try to bring over. So yeah, at some point it was obviously easy to recognize that she was a keeper. And I told her for the first time ever, I don't tell anyone I love them. I don't even tell my mom I love her. I am horrible with saying I love you. And me and Charlene were in an argument last week, and I told her I loved her and cared for her, and I got absolutely zero response. So I am done telling anyone, especially females, I love them. I gave it one shot. I went 0 for 1. Me saying I love you is done. So.
I feel so bad. I've been begging him for years to at least tell his mom he loves her, and he wouldn't. No. And then he sneaks an I love you into me. And I was so mad. And in the moment, I just didn't even think about it.
How many arguments have y'all had? Like, I'm sure y'all go back and forth. But like, I mean, how many, like really, what does y'all's relationship truly look like?
I don't know if we've ever really gotten in an argument, have we? Like, we disagree on some things, but I honestly take everything her and Jesse say into consideration. Like, I always say, even though I get the last vote, I really don't. Like, I try to always ask people multiple opinions before I make a stupid decision. But yeah, I don't think we've really ever gotten in an argument.
we'll go back and forth, but then we always come to like a mutual conclusion. So no arguments.
Sean Corning just said she will throw a table. I've seen it. Harley Davidson Conyers. But yeah, I've tried to work on her attitude over the years, but I think I've failed.
I love it, and I feel like the longer I've worked with y'all, the more I've just been able to understand a little bit more about like the inner workings of like the relationships, like that y'all have with each other, and then the relationships that y'all have with the commission, and the back and forth that you have with the commission. Now, you've been very vocal with the commission and things that you want to see changed. Have you been able to see any results or resolve from you being vocal?
I will say not any permanent results right now. The past few months, I've seen steps in the right direction. I've been very happy with the athletic commission at the past few fight nights. We had a really good meeting last month. After the official meeting, we sat down with the athletic commission and we laid everything on the table and decided after we left that room, we were starting over and we were going to be productive. And that's where we're at. And I think we're moving the right way. David works so hard on the athletic commission. He asks the right questions. He brings the right information. The fighters in Georgia really, they owe David a lot for what he has done over the past few years.
And I think that's very important for just everybody to understand. Like, again, I didn't even understand. As somebody who's like working with, I thought that everybody was together. I'm thinking that the commission and y'all were working together in hand in tandem, but that's just not the case. And so I think it's important to have you on and David to give us a little bit more, insight into the inner workings of the NFC. What kind of things y'all have to do in order to just throw a damn show?
It was funny. You were at the Monday Night Brewing weigh-ins that we did a couple months ago when Larry Greene accepted the fight versus Osei, and Matt Woodruff, the head of the athletic commission, was there. And I think you said to him, "Man, we got to get you on this podcast." And I just sat there. I was like, "That motherfucker ain't coming on this podcast." I wanted to say something, but I kept my mouth shut. But yeah, I think a lot of those, the athletic commission, the arguments we have at times should be private arguments, and it should be private ways that we fix them. And I think we've done that in the last couple of months. And I was even hanging out with one of the guys Saturday night watching the UFC, which hasn't ever happened before. So I think we're going to see more positive changes with the athletic commission the next couple of months. Next meeting is this Thursday. They're supposed to do their elections this Thursday and pick a new chairman and a new vice chairman, or keep the same one. I really don't know how that's going to go. I mean, if I was a betting man, I have my hunches on who's going to be the new chairman, but it'll be exciting to watch. And I think they're going, I think they're getting better. They're taking up the kids MMA this Thursday. They're taking up a Boswell boxing permit that came in late that hopefully they approve. They're getting hopefully more flexible. I've been bugging them to talk about the midnight rule that I think is horrible. That's on the agenda Thursday to talk about, and hopefully we can change the midnight rule, because sometimes there's promoters that have to stop the fight right at midnight. So if you're the main event or co-main event, your fight completely might get canceled right then, and it's horrible for the fans to see it canceled right then because they don't even know what the hell's going on. So I think there's a better way the athletic commission can handle that, and hopefully they're open to some ideas on Thursday. So yeah, hopefully it goes the right way, and I think most of it, should be in private except for the meetings. That's kind of my opinion.
I feel like my first time ever noticing that there was a rift between, not even just a rift, but like there's a separation of parties between the NFC and the commission. Was I was announcing a fight, and somebody gave me a wrong scorecard, and I read out the wrong scorecard, which gave the winner was really the loser, and the loser was really the winner. And like that's when I really realized, like, oh, okay, there's levels to this right now.
Yeah. I hate going back and talking about it because, we are in a good spot with the athletic commission. But I think I told you that night, Julian, I was like, you can say that you were handed a scorecard that said the wrong name. Like, don't let anybody throw you under the bus. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's when it all kind of dawned on me, like, oh, there's a little bit of, there's a difference here. There's levels to this, but
wow.
It is what it is. Again, ladies and gentlemen,
better. It's getting better, and
I'm happy that we've gotten to that level. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Charlene Dixon. Is it Dickerson or Dixon?
Dixon.
Dixon is joining us here on NFC Now. David Oblas is in the center. Charlene, we talked about what you want to see moving forward. We talked about how you and David got started. Now, just on a personal level, like what things are you working on outside of the NFC that are really just like, you know, grinding your gears, or, you know, in a good way?
So outside of NFC right now, I am working on the farm and really just trying to build up that nonprofit. We have too many horses right now. I need to get rid of some horses, and I want to further the lesson program, and I want more kids coming into the farm, more community service. Part of being a nonprofit is I'm able to offer community service hours, especially to the high schoolers, which, you know, my son is in all these clubs and he needs community service hours. But getting people out there and working with the horses, it really is a therapeutic thing. And I'm trying to open that up a little bit more.
I would love to see Russ Eckerman get one of your horses, since he has 82 DUIs and he's drunk 6 nights a week. I would love to see a horse become his new Uber, where he just leaves it outside the bar and takes a horse home.
I vet people pretty well before they get any horses, and I would not give one to Russ.
Russ, I know you're listening. Please, for the love of God, buy a horse from Charlene and use it as your new Lyft driver.
I just want him to come ride a horse.
I would love to see that as well.
Charlene, is it possible that Jenna and I bring Sarai by tomorrow?
It's going to be raining tomorrow, but you can come by any day of the week. I'm there twice a day. I'm there in the mornings and at night.
Okay, we got to take Sarai there because Sarai really loves animals. She loves animals.
So I go out of town on Saturday, but any day before Saturday that's nice and sunny, you guys come.
Absolutely. We'll definitely be there. Generally, she just hit you with a "We love you, Charlene." Charlene, before we part ways this evening, and we really appreciate you for joining us on a whim at the damn near 3-hour mark of our show today. We want your final thoughts. What do you want to leave our entire NFC community with?
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for a great 2022. Really. The fights were amazing this year. I cannot wait to see the recap. I watched Jenna Lee's 2021 recap the other day, and I was just thinking in my head, I was like, that one was pretty amazing, but this year has been, you know, the level up. And so thank you guys for a good year.
Well, on behalf of the entire NFC community.
I'm just laughing at Russ. He would say, Russ has said, I would absolutely ride a horse. I am going to bring Russ out there. And it is going to be like watching the bucking bronco at PBR at the Battery, seeing how long Russ can stand on a horse.
I'm going to have to get the horse to like lay down so Russ can climb on, because Russ can't climb.
You're going to have to get a pony. Like maybe we could just start him by straddling a dog and work his way from a dog to a pony to Mr. Ed. It's going to be steps for us.
Oh my God. I can't see the chat, but Russ, you're welcome anytime.
Indeed. Well, on behalf of the entire NFC community, Charlene, we appreciate you. This is a big thank you and a mwah, mwah, mwah to everything that you do to make this community run smooth. And like you just even like defending everybody, defending the fighters, defending David, defending anybody who's on the home team against all the haters. Like you be the number one, like you bout it. You know what I'm saying?
I try to tone it down. I've actually toned it down.
I loved it.
Lately.
I personally, you don't never got to tone it down around me. I love the faces. I love the remarks. I love all of it because it's like it sets the tone. It lets people know that like, hey, you know, David's the nice promoter. You the enforcer. You know what I'm saying? Jesse be all cool and meek and everything. But when it comes to Charlene, it ain't no game. So we
can't all be quiet. Somebody has to be loud. So that's
and it's you. You play your role. You play your role amazingly well, and like we really appreciate you for just taking time to join us on this this Monday evening.
Thank you. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
So you told Charlene you love her?
It was kind of in the midst of an argument. It kind of popped out, and it's obviously not going to pop out again. And we learned Jenna Lee's fired, so that's the two things we learned today.
Listen, man, I'm really happy that we were able to have Charlene on the show, man. I hold up. This is great. This right here. This is the one.
She don't play no shit for sure.
Hey, day, you need somebody like that on your team at all times, man. And I think that's exactly why I've always wanted Charlene to just hop on, man, just so, we can just talk to her about what she does and the intricate role that she plays. And look forward to having a couple more people that play a similar role. Nobody plays Charlene's role, but other people that work with the NFC just on the pod, man, so we can talk to them during our quote-unquote.
I think we got to get Russ on the pod sooner or later. Russ watches every week. He actually says he enjoys it. I don't know if people know me and Russ's background, but best friends from Auburn on. Do you even know about his car wreck or anything like that?
No, I don't.
Okay, well then shit. Maybe we'll have Russ on next week and we can tell you all about that and tell you generally who Russ Eckerman really is. So that'll be fun.
Wait. I can't wait. And honestly, like I'm always really, really excited for Mondays, man, just for the NFC pod. I feel like this is our longest pod to date. We're going on the 3-hour mark. Shout out to everybody who's still tuned in to NFC Now. Can we do this each and every Monday? That is David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. Larry Greene, just for clarification, I wear a size medium, my guy. And we look forward to having y'all here next week on NFC Now. David and I will be on the phone throughout the week planning on what's to come. And David, you might not have a good memory, but dude, I respect you just for having that damn notepad of like to-do list. Like you be surprised. Like when I'm working out in the morning, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I got to get my to-do list.
Yeah, there's the to-do list. And if you flip a page, we're going to find it. Even today at the top of the list, Julian business cards, because I'll forget about that. And then I was writing down the matchups that they suggested. Why can I not even see that? Che Johnson versus John Freeman, Reese, and then Nathan Rivera and Miles Neal. But most importantly, Julian business cards, so I'll get on that.
Hey, you'd be surprised how many people I talked to at that bar about the NFC. Like, you really be surprised.
Yeah, I think a lot of people hear of it. They just don't know the next events and upcoming events. And, yeah, I've always thought as the word gets out more.
Yeah, man, and we'll continue to push the word, not only just in person, but every Monday here on NFC Now. So everybody that's a part of the NFC community, everybody watching right now, we wish you the best of the week, man. Just go out and dominate. Be like David. Write some stuff down, man. Accomplish some things. And as I always like to say, support a hustler. We'll catch you here next week. And y'all be easy.
Peace. Bye.